Peace, King of Queens. You are now rocking with the infamous, the opinionated is here.
And the cool is here.
The talkative is not here once again, but she is on a much-needed vacation.
Yeah, she's still enjoying that.
Exactly. You know, sometimes we need to get away from the city and the busy streets of New York. Mm-hmm. But we do have two guests that are from New York, I presume.
Nah. Orlando.
Yeah. Orlando and Jersey.
And
way of Jersey.
Wait. That's
so
crazy.
Jersey by way of Orlando, I guess I should say.
Orlando by the way of Jersey? What do you mean?
So Jersey, we live in Jersey now.
Okay,
but we grew up in Orlando.
But you grew up in Orlando.
Yeah.
And Taj went to Orlando.
That's where she's at right now.
That's crazy. So you guys can introduce yourself. Tell the people about yourself.
All right, my name's Janay Nicole. I'm a singer-songwriter from New Jersey, like we just discussed. I sing like R&B, neo-soul, so pleasure to be here.
Facts. Yeah. You hear the voice.
And I'm Devin, and go by Dev on Instagram, production name. So I produce Janay, produce a bunch of local artists, underground artists in New York, New Jersey, and we're brother and sister. So we work together as a family cohesive unit.
That's tight.
That's tight. That's one of the things, like, when we first got introduced to you guys from the Brooklyn Circus, felt like so long ago, though.
Yeah, no, that was a minute.
That was a minute ago. But it was a good feel. You know, I was talking to you for a minute, Dev, and we was just talking about, like, it just felt like we just gelled about everything, you know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Music, going through the struggles and all that stuff. And I was like, we got to have your sister because she's a talent.
Thank you.
It's crazy because follow you on Instagram and you be doing, like, your little, your snippets of, like, you know, songs and stuff like that. And I'm like, yo, like, put that on wax or something. Like,
that
what
means a
is
lot.
it? Like, you have a real great voice and a real great talent. I hope to see that come into fruition for sure.
Appreciate that.
Yeah,
man.
for sure. So what made you guys start getting into, like, you know, the music and stuff like that? Like, was this a forever thing?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we started probably...
We were young.
Yeah, I mean, I was probably about 9, and she was about 2. Mm-hmm. That's about a 7-year age difference between the two of us, and she just would always run around the house singing. And nobody really took her serious. Everybody would be like, man, shut up. Like, stop singing. But, you know, after a while, we started kind of listening to her, and we were like, wait a minute. You know, she got a little bit of a voice. And I've always been into, like, drums and instrumentation. And I really just kind of picked up drums, kind of self-taught, and I would put together like a makeshift drum set, and I'd start playing drums, and then she'd hop on the top of a vacuum cleaner and use that as like a microphone or a stage platform, and she would just sing to the beats that I would make. You know, at that point I had no formal training. I had, you know, was just making beats really. With like 10 cans. So
wow, that's crazy.
She would start singing, and then my mom and my dad would like record us, and they'd be like, "Wow, y'all actually pretty good, pretty good." So
their parents though, they
right, exactly. We thought they were biased, but ever since then, man, we probably started taking it serious though. Probably about 6 or 7 years ago, when you know, we had both kind of looked at each other one day and said, "Wait a minute, you have a talent that kind of complements." Because I had started making beats, you know, on the computer. And I was like, why don't we just kind of see where this goes? Like, let's just try it, you know, let's see what happens. And
we started with covers. The first cover we did was Maxwell, whatever. Yeah. And we did that one, and we were supposed to... it was like the holidays, and my mom was like, y'all go to the store, get some bread, and like be right back because I got to make this dish, that dish, So we're like, okay, no biggie. So when we get in the car, my brother's like, oh, let me stop at my house. And he had like this little makeshift like studio set up. He was like, I made this beat, like, can you do something over it? And I was like, yeah. So like I got behind the microphone, I started singing, an hour goes by, an hour and a half goes by.
Yeah, we were gone for
our
like 3 hours.
phones start blowing up. Like my mom's like, hello.
We come back. Y'all at? But we were like, oh, we got the bread, but we also did the song while we was gone.
Yeah.
Tried to divert her attention. We're like,
Right.
but listen to this. But yeah, that's where we really got started because he actually like used to work part-time at Guitar Center.
Yeah.
So he had the hookup with the equipment, which can be expensive. So.
Shit, expensive ain't even a word on that.
Understatement.
Yeah. I remember when I was first started trying to make some damn beats. I went in the damn Guitar Center store. I said, what?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember those.
Remember that shit?
I remember those.
Remember that shit? Beat Machine. I was like, a G?
Yeah, bro.
I said, God damn it. He said, you could apply for a car. That's how they get you.
Yeah,
that's how they get you.
exactly.
That's how they get you.
Because you tried to recruit me to get a machine, so I was like, I don't want to do this right now. This isn't it, man.
I wanted all the bros. I was like, yo, this shit is real lit. I wanted all the bros to be a part of that shit. I remember Jerry got his shit, but
Jerry
he
got
never
one,
like
but he
really,
never really did nothing.
He never really did nothing with it. But
That's what I was afraid of.
That's what you was afraid of.
I'm not gonna spend all this bread and not
all
really
this.
like put my own into it. So I was like, nah, I'm cool.
Yeah, there's definitely an investment and definitely investment in time because that shit is a hard thing to learn.
Yes.
Like the software system and all that shit. Like, especially if you self-teaching yourself.
Yes.
Yes. I was a deer in headlights. Can you explain like your struggles like going through that?
Yeah, absolutely, man. When I first got, I think the first piece of actual hardware equipment that I got was Machine.
Same.
And before that, I was messing around on Fruity Loops, just kind of clicking, drawing in chord progressions and stuff like that. And then I realized that was a lot harder for me, kind of, coming from the instrument world.
Yeah,
so I was like, I got to get a MIDI keyboard. So I was trying to figure out which MIDI keyboard I should get. So I finally got one of those, and I could, program chords and stuff on Machine, but the keyboard was a little bit easier. But I mean, to your point, like learning those software systems, like there's so many different ones: Pro Tools, Logic, Reason. You got
Reasons is
now.
crazy too.
Reasons is nuts.
Reasons is crazy.
You can make some bangers on Reason though. I've heard some bangers come out of Reason.
Yeah, for sure. And I just don't know. Like, what I want right now is like an actual drum machine.
Okay.
Like, I got Machine, like the actual software.
Yeah.
But I want a drum machine where I could do everything on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, I want that. Because then that, I feel like it might be a easier type thing. Because to me, Machine is like, it limits you because you can't sample as well. Or like, it's difficult to sample. You got to transfer it to a WAV file. You got to do this. You got to do whatever.
Yeah.
It's a lot. You know what I mean? So it kind of doesn't limit you, but it takes longer.
Yeah.
When like, if I had like a drum pad or a drum machine or whatever you want to call it, it's like, quick.
That's a fact. I mean, the hardware, the Machine has like a hardware though. You can buy like a it looks almost like an MPC, but it's their version of it.
Yeah, facts. I got that. That's what I got. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So
I got all
you
that.
should be able to program everything in there.
Yeah,
bro.
that shit is a piece of work.
YouTube, man. YouTube is
That shit's a piece of work. But yeah, I'll be going on YouTube. I'll be like, I don't like watching people on video. Like, I like watching somebody like right there do that shit. Like, you know what I mean? So like, I can't really like sit there and be like, I can't do that.
YouTube is a great teacher though.
No, it is. But for something quick. But when it's something like that, that tedious, I need somebody to see it.
He would pause sessions. Like when we first started, he used to pause sessions and be like, wait, let me YouTube this. And I'd be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But
that's good though. That's good.
yeah.
Yeah, because she'd be asking for stuff. She'd be like, yo, can you do this effect? Like, I want my voice to sound like this. And I'd be like, give me a second. I don't know how to do that. So I go on YouTube real quick, try to find a quick tutorial. But I still, to this day, I don't like engineering at all.
Yeah, engineering is tough.
It is tedious. It is
wild tedious.
Very, very like meticulous.
Right.
And if you don't get it, like, and especially if you're working with, art, you gotta be quick.
Yeah, you gotta be quick.
You gotta be like fast, cut, snip here, do this, do that. Right. But it's tough.
It's easier with rappers than R&B vocalists. Because
yeah,
R&B
that's
vocalists
true.
want to layer everything.
That's very true.
Ad-lib, it's a lot.
That's very true. I was working with an artist by the name of AR, and he had like an R&B vocalist, and he was in the studio engineering for 10 hours a day. Remember that shit? I was in the studio for 10 hours a day.
Playing like one song too, right?
On one song.
It's not even mad songs, like one song.
Exactly.
Hey, we'll probably get like 2 songs done in that 10 hours.
Yeah.
Oh
and the shit was like 12 songs or something like that, whatever it was. But like,
yeah, man.
But like, he had like an R&B vocalist, and then like that. Shout out to Blue from Lounge Studios, because he was just like, because he specializes in R&B vocals. He did Solange album, Seat at the Table.
Nice.
So like, he specializes in that. But I'm looking at this man, I'm like, I don't know how you doing it. Like, I'm sitting right next to him, I'm like, I don't even know what he hearing. He's like, that ain't right. I thought it sounded great.
Yeah,
right. Bro. But like, I don't know. So like, are you a hard critic on yourself? Like when you record? Yeah.
Yes, that's what makes it. I like conditioned him now when he records with people who aren't as like critical of themselves. But every artist is kind of like self-critical. Like
100%.
does that. So
let's do it again.
yeah, I'll be like, he'll be like, that sounds good. I'm happy with that. I'll be like, I'm not. Like, let's do it again. Let's punch in. And I'll do it like 100 times if he allows me to. But sometimes he has to tell me like, no, Janay, like we're gonna stick with that one. That one sounds good.
Because a lot of times I'll hear something different. She'll be like, nah, I don't like it. But it'll give a different type of texture.
Right.
So I think as a producer, you hear different things, even from a vocalist. Like, you can hear, what you want the record to sound like. So for me, I think it has achieved that sound, but for her, and what I had to learn was if she's not happy with it, then she's not gonna continue to perform that way.
Right. 100.
So I gotta keep going, redo it, no matter how many times I fuss about it. Like,
we get some arguments.
Yeah.
We get some arguments.
Sessions be heated sometimes.
Yeah.
My mom has to come and be like, guys, like stop.
that bad?
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yep. But it's not too bad. Like no fists or
No, of course not.
But we exchanged some words and then like 15, 20 minutes later, we're good.
You'll be good.
Sometimes as long as like a day. Like, I think the longest we've gone without speaking is like a day.
Because of you, though. Not
Like, I refuse to reach. I'll just be like, nah, I'm whatever, yo. Like, let her do her own thing.
Right.
And then she'll be like, hey, are we going to record tonight?
So sorry.
Do you guys record like often?
Try to.
Yeah.
We try to. We've been doing a lot of running around recently. We used to be just locked in.
Yeah, I saw you guys I saw you was in LA or like, what is it, ATL maybe or something?
Yeah, we were. I was in LA in March. I think ATL in April, something like that.
Moving.
Yeah, right after that. Yeah, bro, we always on the go. But I mean, that's really what it is, just networking, trying to get different vibes from different cities.
That's what it is, 100.
Yeah, we went out to LA. We worked on a couple records out there. And we just linked up with a bunch of different producers, artists, just kind of, cooked up with them. So
it's crazy how a location can really change the vibe of the music. Like what we created out there, we could have never created like in his like home like setup.
Really? Wow.
Why is it?
Yeah.
I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like the collaboration of like the different energies and the different people like within the studio. So like I'm a firm believer in that like energy like helps create music and anything, honestly, like relationships. So those people that we collabed with, like they weren't closed off, like they were very open, like to collaborate and like share. Like I think one guy, like he showed you like what he does or whatever, like when it comes like, so they're open to like showing you. It was just a good overall vibe. Like I could not complain from that LA experience.
Yeah, LA is a lot different than New York, where I think everybody out there is more like.
Me and you had that conversation.
Yeah,
me and you had that conversation.
We did talk about that. Whereas everybody's just willing to collaborate out there. Everybody's like, yo, let's. Maybe you got something I can learn. I got something I can teach you. Like, let's work together. That's the quickest way to the top is to work together. And, I find just in New York, it's just like, bro. I mean, you try to collaborate. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't really collaborate like that. If you want to buy a beat, I got you. Or you want to do this, I got you. But, like, that's not the way. That's not the way. And I'm like her. Like, energies. If you're in a studio, you have to vibe, bro. So you're not going to get a solid product coming out of there. You're spending money to go in there. You know what I'm saying? So you want to make sure that vibe is right. In LA, it was right. It was right.
What about ATL? Do you guys record it over there too?
So ATL is more of like a production hub for me because I got a few producers that I work with out of ATL. I haven't really recorded. You haven't really been down there to record yet. But we're trying to get her down there to record a few because there's a bunch of studios, a bunch of producers, a bunch of other artists that she can collaborate with too. Yeah. So I just been going down there really cooking up with a bunch of different producers.
You guys do like live instrumentals like inside the studio?
That's what we want to do. That's what we did in LA actually.
And that was a vibe. Yeah,
it was.
That's the best vibe.
Yes.
I swear it is.
100%.
We did that shit in New York. Like I said, we was recording that project and Shorty was just playing like a like some like regular like strings and shit. We recorded that shit. I was like, yo, because live instrumentals to me are the best.
Yes.
Like we could always like do this like the drum machine and shit like that, but like to me, and what makes a real good producer is like when a producer could like orchestrate that whole shit up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
100%,
Like,
yeah.
and then like set that tone. That's why Quincy's like by far the best, greatest producer.
Right.
By far that like when you could like orchestrate a whole live session and it just sounds perfect.
Yes.
And you can't go wrong from there.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
Your voice would do great on that shit too.
That's what I really want to do. I always badger him. I'm like, I like guitar and piano. Let's like sit down with like a guitarist and a pianist and just like sit in a room and vibe because that's what I do on like YouTube. I'll sit up if I'm just bored and I want like some live instrumentation, like air quotes obviously. I'll like sit and listen to like piano instrumentals and guitar instrumentals.
That's another difference between New York and LA though. Like in New York, you gotta orchestrate that. Like you gotta call. All right, you got a bass player that lives in Brooklyn. You got a guitar player that lives in Queens. You gotta get everybody to one central location. In LA, most of the studios are like centrally located. Like you got some downtown LA and some in West Hollywood. But every instrumentalist or
there's a hub for them.
even musicians for hire, they just hang out. And then like you'll go to a studio and they'll be like, oh, you need a guitar player? I got you. Like come in on $20 an hour or something like that.
Right.
Crazy.
And you can have them just come in and lay down whatever they need to lay down, keyboard, whatever. So it's a lot easier out there than it is out here. But I'm sure there's a bunch of musicians around. It's just everybody's kind of a little bit more spread out.
100.
You know?
100. And it's hard to find, like, even like with that, like you said, $20 an hour, like the guys hanging out the studios at $20 an hour. You just still got to make sure the energy is correct.
Facts.
For me.
That's a fact.
That's how you create that real, like you said, like that real great essence of a great sounding song or a project and shit like that. You guys working on a project right now?
We are. It's been in the works for a while because what happened, like when we first started, like we thought we had like a solid 5 songs and we were like, ooh, these are going to go on the EP. Like we're set. Like let's set the date. And then as you continue to work, you grow, like, inevitably. So we, like, were like, oh, let's, like, boot all of those songs and, like, let's throw those away or, like, keep those in a file somewhere. And then we start creating. And each time we create, we're like, oh, let's put that one on. Oh, let's forget the last one we did and let's put the other one on. Yeah. And, like, the process of creating can be so crazy because, like, you have so many unfinished, like, people like paintings. Like, if you're a painter, you have unfinished paintings and things that sit.
Yeah, 100.
That's kind of what we do with, like, music. Like, it'll sit sometimes and you go back and revisit it. And then you like it won't be the same vibe. Like my mom would be like, "You gotta finish that one. You gotta finish this one." Like, but we don't want to do that one. Like it's not the same vibe as like when we started it.
Right.
So it's really funny, like the process of creation. But
we do got a project coming.
Yes, it's coming.
I guess that's why artists create projects like within like 6 months or something like that, right?
Yeah, it takes a long time.
Yeah.
Because like if you like wait a long time like to think, then you revisit a song that you made a year ago, it doesn't slap the same.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, so it's just like so that's why I guess it takes artists forever to like come with a project.
Yeah. A 10 track record, probably the artist probably picked anywhere between 100 and 150 songs.
Right.
To pick those best 10 to put on the project. So you got to figure, you know, even every day, you're in the studio every day for 12 to 15, sometimes 20 hours, sometimes, you know, days at a time.
It's crazy.
You're creating all that music, and then you got to go back and listen to it again. So it takes a while, man.
Drive with it and shit like that.
Exactly.
A little bit.
Exactly.
And while you're creating, the crazy part is music's still steadily changing.
Yep.
So you kind of got to, like, time is of the essence. Because if you're, like, trying to ride a wave, especially, like, with a lot of these, like, new age rappers, you got to pump it out. Because, like, the time's now for you to put it out so the masses can hear it.
Right.
So you can't take but so long. But I think
that might be the problem, though.
Yeah.
That might be the problem.
Yeah.
Like, artists feel rushed.
Yeah.
So that's why they put out shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nah, you might be right. For sure.
No, yeah, because they put out some shit.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be bad. Bro. It'd be bad.
No, I mean, this year's music. This year though, this year's been good. It was starting off real slow, as far as music. I don't know how you guys feel about the music wave right now. Like, your favorite artists, like
what y'all listening to?
Yeah, like,
I'm indifferent, man. I got a lot of, I don't know. Whose project did I just listen to that actually wasn't bad?
Khalid's project was dope.
Khalid's project was dope.
did I tell you that?
Khalid's project.
I feel like I
was
told you that. Like, Khalid project is really good.
You did say that.
So
Yeah,
never
because
got
American Teen was terrible.
Yeah,
Hot garbage.
He did. Yeah, Free Spirit was a lot better.
yeah.
Because like, I don't want to say terrible. It just wasn't for me because I feel like it was for kids.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like high school.
I mean, it was high school shit.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I think he was in high school probably. I don't know.
Not relatable enough. Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
But Free Spirit was really good. Like, that's a great project.
That project was crazy. I listened to I think that's the last one I listened to front to back.
Wow.
Like I listened to that straight through.
Word.
The intro had me. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, intro's got to have you. If you don't have the intro, then it's a wrap.
Exactly. And now, especially with the streaming,
Yeah.
like albums, really?
Yeah.
I mean, unless you really, really, really mess with that artist, like
Nobody's listening
to the whole album.
Nobody's
Everybody's
listening
listening
to
to the songs they want, downloading the songs they want. And
Yeah.
that's
That's
it.
very true. That is very true. Or if they listen to the album, they're going to start with the first one.
Yep.
Or the first 3. If
Exactly.
you don't grab them by then it's a wrap.
Yeah, somebody gave me a statistic the other day. They said attention spans of the average like music consumer is 15 to 30 seconds. Like if you don't catch them in that 15 to 30 seconds,
That's kind of absolutely insane.
I could believe it though. I could
That's what
believe
they
it.
say.
That's you?
I'm not. Nah, it's not me because I like music for real. So I give more time. I dedicate more time to music. But like, it's just so much.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like,
it's a lot.
and you kind of want to get some mad stuff like in one day, one week. It's like I'm gonna just give it a little bit of time. If you're not hitting, it's clear.
That's clear.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Exactly.
nah, I'm not doing it.
Would you guys say that you're an album person or like a singles person?
Album. I'm more of an album person, just because it seems to tell a story more so. Like a single leave you hanging, like, but that's what it's supposed to do too. It's supposed to leave you wanting more. So
I'm probably 50-50 on both. Like I would prefer to listen to a single, and then if I like the single, it'll probably drive me to listen to the album. But
or maybe an EP.
Yeah, I would say EPs are probably more
listenable
what
for you.
Artists should be doing today.
Okay.
Just because, again, man, you put out like Chris Brown putting out 30-song projects, but he's Chris Brown.
Yeah,
he can do
exactly.
that. But I'm saying, like, anybody else.
Couldn't wait to say that.
It's my guy.
Anybody else is like, you know, if somebody else, like a non, I don't want to say non-known, but like a not as well-known artist puts out a 30-song project, what's the likelihood of you going to listen to all 30 songs?
Can't do it.
So if you're a newer artist, I think that's the route you go. Put out EPs or just consistently release singles, because that way you'll be able to tell like who's really rocking with you and who's not.
And I think like artists like Chris Brown, major artists, I don't think they need singles at this point, honestly.
Nah,
like the
that's
time that
a
we're
fact.
in, you don't need to release a song leading up to an album, because the album's gonna drop probably in a month anyways.
That's right.
Just give us the record. You know what I'm saying? Just give us the whole album. You don't need singles. Singles don't really do nothing for those artists today.
Nope.
It's not like 10 years ago we had to push a record a year, 6 months. Like, just drop the record, bro.
Right.
Because your fans are still gonna bump it anyways.
That's
You're still
facts.
gonna get all the streaming records, numbers, whatever you gotta do, tours. So just give us an album.
Yeah,
So
nah,
true.
I'm with that. I think they do it for. It's more like bragging. A lot of it's bragging rights.
Probably.
It's like,
Trying to
oh,
get
man.
that plat.
Exactly. Trying to get that
Yeah.
plaque, or be like, yo, I had the hottest record of the summer. I had the
for
hottest
sure.
record of the, you know, whatever.
For sure.
And everybody wants that title. Like, oh, I had the hottest record of the summer.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think that's why like artists don't really have longevity in this shit though. You know what I mean? Like just trying to get numbers is crazy.
Yeah.
You know, I think every artist obviously wants to get paid.
Yep.
But like I feel like when you do it for the music, you know what I mean, that shit is gonna already come.
Yep.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You'll get paid in like some gratitude. Like, what would you do if Lauryn Hill hit your phone right now and be like, yo, I really like what you're doing? You'll die.
Yeah.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? That shit more than a fucking
Life
check.
made,
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Because like you're doing something right. You feel me? You know what I mean?
Yep.
What is your favorite genres? Because I'm trying to gauge. You listen to Khalid, so I don't know if you
Excuse me.
maybe
For me,
yeah.
I listen to pretty much anything, because again, like that
You are a
instrumentation,
producer.
right?
Yeah.
And that instrumentation background, like I'm listening for different sounds, and
For
I
sure.
listen to music a little bit different than most people. Like I'm listening to lyrics, but I'm not really.
I don't listen to lyrics. I'm like that.
See, yeah, I'm not really listening to the lyrics. I want to hear how your vocals sit on top of the track. I'm more analytical when I'm listening than actually listening to enjoy. But for me, I guess if I had to pick a genre that I like listening to, I do like listening to more R&B, neo soul type stuff, because it tends to have a little bit more going on instrumentation wise. And then the trap music is cool to turn up to, you know. And I call it easy money, because I mean trap beats, you literally put 2 sounds and some hard drums in there. And
That's it.
It is
you
easy
know.
money, yeah.
But yeah, I think R&B for me, just like anything that makes me feel is what I'll listen to.
For sure.
I
That
like
makes
anything with a story. So I'm, of course,
R&B.
R&B, neo soul. I love her. Like, we didn't even talk about her.
We love her on this podcast.
her.
Yeah, we love her on this
If
podcast.
Taj was here,
Taj
she
would
would've
have been like,
just
oh my God.
She's the greatest.
She's the great. She would have went on a whole
She
tangent.
would've went off.
She would have went on a whole
She
thing.
would've went off.
I mean, yeah, her is probably the closest thing I see to that, like that wave. I think R&B actually is like doing really well.
It
Yes,
is.
It's the best time for R&B in a while.
Yep.
She got Snow Allegra.
Yes.
Did you listen to her last project?
I listened to I Want You Around, like, on repeat.
I Want
I
You
need to
Around
listen to
is
the
my
rest
shit. Please
of the
listen to that.
project.
Yo, listen, I've been bumping that shit. That shit goes so hard.
It's
man.
top 10 of the year
It's a
for sure.
vibe.
Top 10 for sure. Yeah,
Top
I
10,
agree with that. I agree with that. Snow Allegra, you got Aaron Ray, which is one of my favorite guys that's coming out.
Lucky Day. You guys
Lucky
see
Day,
that?
I like
is
Lucky
hard.
Day too. Lucky Day is hard as well. You got her, obviously. I think we said that. Who else? I feel like we're missing somebody. But there's a lot.
You got Mariba. That's my.
Oh, Mariba. You love
yeah,
Mariba.
she's dope. She's dope.
You love Mariba. Yeah, Mariba. Yeah, I mean, you got a lot of great R&B artists. I think that's why it's like such a great lane for you right now. Because probably like 3 years ago, it would have been difficult.
Yeah.
Especially with your sound, it would have been difficult because like they was doing that. I love Party Next Door. He's one of my favorite R&B artists, but like they was doing that sound.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It wasn't like hard drums behind little synths and shit like
Yep.
that, little
Yep.
weird shit. I like Party Next Door. He's my favorite like artist, right? Like R&B artist right now. But it's not R&B. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like her and shit like that or like the people that we just named. So right now though, it's that lane where that shit is kind of doing well.
It
You know what I
is.
mean? Like people's trying to get back to that great music. I feel like because
Feel
even in
good.
hip hop, that feel good.
Yeah.
Because even in hip hop, people are like giving Common his respects and stuff like that. And I remember Common was not getting shit, but now like people want to hear like a hip hop song about love, or hip hop song about whatever, like, you know, something that's regarding social issues. You know, they don't want to hear that.
Yeah,
and I like that shit sometimes.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right.
It's a vibe for that. Young Thug and shit. Did you listen?
No.
You like it?
I did.
Yeah.
He's like,
did?
nah.
I didn't
You didn't get to it?
I don't think I will, honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't
I'm
think I
actually
will.
surprised that you said that.
I'm
You put me on the Young Thug.
Oh yeah, but I like Young Thug. I thought Young Thug was like not getting his credit when he should have been getting his credit years ago. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was just like ahead of the curve a little bit.
For sure.
But I'm just not. I'm not into Young Thug right now. I'm cool on that. I pass.
Wow, I'm actually surprised at that.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
I don't even know why.
You on Rhapsody?
I'm on Rhapsody shit, bro.
No, Rhapsody's fire too,
Rhapsody
though.
is
I haven't heard her recent. She just put out a project.
She just put out a project.
Yeah, I need to listen to that.
I'll talk about that next week or something like that. We'll talk about that next week. But like Rhapsody, to me, she's like the best hip hop female artist.
Yeah.
Right now, you know what I mean? Probably in the last 2-3 years, honestly. But like people probably just got. You said something about Nicki though, right?
I think Nicki's the greatest.
Oh, okay.
But,
She's the greatest.
But she don't rap. But she don't rap better than Rhapsody though. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, Rhapsody got bars.
Yeah, for sure.
Rhapsody got bars. I gotta listen to that project.
Yeah.
Do you make hip hop? You make hip hop beats, all right?
Yeah. I do a little bit of everything. I try to dabble in hip hop, pop, trap, R&B. My favorite to produce probably is more R&B.
Really?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Just because of to me, I feel like I put more feeling into an R&B track. Like if I'm producing a hip hop track, I mean, you can put feeling in a hip hop track too, but like a trap beat for me is just like, once I hear a sound, I'm like, all right, cool. Now just throw some drums on that and it's done.
Do you ever do songwriting?
Nah, not really. I mean, I can hear melodies.
Her face is
Sorry.
like that crazy. She made that face.
I can hear melodies in my head, and I'll try to put them down so I can like convey to the artist what I hear.
Yeah.
But as far as like actually putting pen to paper and like writing about,
But you'll dabble. Like, 'cause sometimes
I'll
I
help
force
you.
him. I'll be like, I need something for like this next line that
right,
like
I'll
goes with
help.
this.
She
And
has
he'll
to
throw some
start.
stuff out.
But like if I'm like, all right, cool. Well, what if we kind of take it this way, or what if we said this? I'll do stuff like that. But to actually sit and write a full song, that's not me. I know my strengths.
Yeah, right. I think that's difficult as hell. I never did that.
It's
I never
hard.
did that shit before. How is it like with the songwriting process?
So what I've started doing is if he has like production, then I'll kind of just go over top of it with melodies at first, and then I'll be like, okay, how does this make me feel? Like evaluate like how my melodies are if they're soft. I'll be like, okay, so maybe this is a love song. Then we'll start like writing from there. But I've started doing this thing where I write poems and I'll leave them in my notes, like just based off of like life. Because my mom's always like, oh well, write about that. Like I'm sitting in my room crying about like a life, something going on in life, and she's like, write about this. Like you need to make a song about that. I'm like, hold up, let me process my feelings. But she's like, use music to do that. So I mean, that is what music is for. So we've been doing that, either melodies or using like poems and things I have in my like phone already, just to like create based off of. Like he'll create production around it sometimes.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say it because I think it needs to be said.
Okay.
Her songwriting has gotten a lot better, right? So
I know
when
what
we
you're gonna
first when we first started, me and my I'd be sitting there recording her, and me and my mom sits in on like all of our sessions. Shout out to mom. Hey mom. But we would look at each other like, what did she just say? Like, does that make sense? Like that doesn't even make no sense. Like she would be talking about love, and then she'd be talking about like, I don't know, something completely different. We'd be like, yo,
Artist expression though.
right. We'd be
Yeah.
like, yo, but this, and my mom would say like, isn't she supposed to be telling a story? Like, isn't she supposed to be? So we would be like, all right. So if I go back and listen to like our old stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, that didn't really make sense. But now I can hear the progression. So I can hear like, she is starting to incorporate more life stories. She is starting to kind of like, step out. Because almost as a songwriter, you got to step outside.
You gotta be
yourself
vulnerable.
sometimes.
You gotta be
Exactly.
vulnerable.
And just kind of put yourself in a space where you can actually, put your ideas down. But I've seen her go into a booth and just like, be like, yo, just freestyle, just flow. And she gets in her own head, but then when she gets out of her head, bro, she can like, she'll just come up with some crazy stuff, and we're just all sitting there like, yo, we're keeping that. That's fire. We're keeping it. So I try to keep her out of her head, if that makes sense, just so she can just flow and just vibe out, because that's when she comes up with her best content. But I say you gotten a lot better.
Thank
so
you.
congrats on that.
Thank you.
Do you have to sit in like in a quiet place or something like that for you to write?
Not really. Like I can kind of zone out. Like if everybody else around me is like drinking and lit, like I can kind of like put myself in a corner and just kind of like focus in on what I got to do. But I do need like I need to feel comfortable. If I feel uncomfortable, that throws off my whole vibe. Like, I can't go in and, like, sing properly. And, like, he could tell immediately when my vibe's off. Yeah. Or, like, if they give me, like, a critique and then I start overthinking it, he's like, Janay, just sing. Like, he'll just be like, just sing. Like, don't overthink it. But he could tell immediately when my vibe is thrown off or, like, I start overthinking some sort of critique or instruction I was given. But
do you take well to criticism?
It depends on who it's coming from. Like, if it's the craziest thing. If it comes from him or my mom, I'm like, you guys don't know what you're talking about, blah, blah, blah. But if it's from, like, a random person, I'd be like, oh, you're right. Like, it's really weird. It's so weird.
Like,
that's different. That's different.
It's very different. Like, if we're sitting in the studio, like, if all of us were in the studio together, and she's in the booth, she can't hear us, but we're in the control room and we're talking, I would probably be like, yo, y'all tell her what we're talking about, because she's going to take it from y'all, not from us.
Yeah, okay.
Because if we take it from her, she thinks we're being overly critical. She thinks we're trying to, like, you know, come at her neck, and we're like, no, we're trying to help you. We're not really. Yeah. But then she'll get her feelings, and she'll be like, whatever. But somebody else says, she's like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's right. Okay, I'll try that. I'll try that. I'm like, wow.
I don't know if it's because I'm polite. And in my head, I'm like, did you really just say that? But I don't know. It just comes differently. I don't know.
But being that you're all siblings, though, how do you feel like that's helped you in your music process and making and all that?
That's really helped, honestly, because with, like, he's never lived but so far away. Like, he lives on his own, but he's never lived but so far away from my parents' house. So we've been able to kind of just, like, gel. And I don't have to worry. In the music industry, as a female, you kind of have to worry about, like, males, like, kind of being inappropriate.
Yeah, they nasty. For sure.
Right.
I'm going to be honest.
It's bad. So, like, I appreciate that he's my brother. Like, I could be, like, the most chill. I can come over in my sweatpants, hair, like, wrapped, and, like, he don't care. Like, he just wants us to get the record done. So... Yeah, that has helped.
It has helped too from like a, I guess, networking standpoint too, because you know, people that I'll meet, I'll introduce her to. I'll bring her in on sessions that I have to go to that I think, you know, will benefit from her. She's gotten a lot of opportunities just sitting in the room. Yeah. And then people be like, oh man, it would sound dope with a female on this, or like somebody to sing. Yeah. And then I'd be like, oh, my sister sings. And then she's real quiet in the corners. You know, they'd be like, oh, okay, she's saying, all right, cool, let's go in the booth and, you know, see what you can do. And then everybody's face just, when she starts singing, just like, whoa, you know, and she's got put on a few records that way. So,
Just being in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, I try to bring her everywhere, you know, vice versa. We try to take each other everywhere that we go.
Well, you're my ride, so.
Right, exactly.
I'll be driving
that's true,
the city.
Too. That's also true.
That's pretty dope, man. I feel like, I don't think that I've ever heard of, like, a brother and sister you ever heard something like that?
I'm trying to think. I'm not sure.
Somebody always says something like, they're like, oh, you guys are like so-and-so.
The only one I can think of is like DeV.b and Cece.
Right, that's what I had in mind too.
But they were both singers.
They both singers.
Yeah. I know DeV.b produced a little bit though.
Yeah.
I think.
Just a tad.
Yeah. But I don't sing at all. I don't even try. I'm like, you can have that, take it. But
you don't rap either.
Nah. Not really. I be trying, man. I'm telling you, like, if I hear an idea, like, I'll hop on the mic and I'll do it, but I'm not trying to put that out. I'll be like, yo, this is for the artist to listen to only. Like, let's not put that out. Yeah. But, I don't even really have, like, the interest to, you know, be like, I want to rap, I want to sing. So.
Would you ever, like, you know, just spit a little quick 16 on something? Have you ever thought about that? Or like not even rap necessarily, but like, you know, like a little nice soft poetry over like a beat.
We've tried that before, and it's like in a vault somewhere where we just have it sitting. One time, oh my gosh, I think I did like a soft rap, kind of that vibe, what you're describing, and he did like a beatbox, and he kind of like mixed it down, and it was kind of that vibe, to be honest, but we were just messing around. Like, we just finished one record, and we were like, oh, let's just mess around and like do something, because I'd heard a Masego song, and he like did everything with his mouth. I was like, oh, can we try to like recreate something?
Masego, he's another one.
Masego's
love Masego. But
he's
a
little arrogant though.
A little.
Yeah,
right.
I haven't seen.
He's hella like. I don't like his character, but I love his music.
Yes.
Like his character, I'm like, all right.
And honestly, relax. If somebody, you gotta, because if your character's good, it makes me love your music that much more.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Takes away from it, but yeah, I've tried before, but I'm not a rapper.
I feel like you was trying to get in your bag a little bit on Money Mood though. You know what I'm saying?
I was. I was trying to.
Flip that was like some rapper shit. You know what I'm saying?
That was different for that record. Honestly, that the story on how that record came about is crazy.
What's the story about?
She sent me. So typically, she'll send me like YouTube beats. Sometimes she'll be like, "Yo, I like this vibe. Like, let's try to recreate this." So she had sent me a beat, And I was like, okay, cool. I hear the vibe. I hear it. So I went and I tried to like recreate it. But what she didn't tell me was it was one of a beat that like her friend actually sent her. So I was like, okay, so you didn't tell me that somebody actually produced this that you know. Like, so why don't we just use that beat? She was like, well, I mean, yeah, we can use that. But like he said that you can add some stuff to it if you want. So we just ended up adding stuff to it. And then she hops on the mic and just starts like flowing. She's just like big flipper, big. And I'm like, yo, that's kind of hard. Like, like you should do that. Like let's explore this. And then she was like, but I don't want to put this on my project because this is not like what I'm trying to do. Like I don't want people to think I'm a rapper. Right. And I was like, nah, let's just do it and let's see what happens. So we did it. We let people listen to it. And they were like, yo, no, this is a hard record. Like, this is crazy. This is different for her. Yeah. So we decided to put it out. And, you know, it got picked up by Cosmopolitan. Like, word? Yeah, Cosmo picked it up. They put it in one of their like braid up tutorials or something like that. So shit. We were like, all right.
That's lit as hell.
Yeah.
That's tight.
That's always fun. Shoot, I was at work, too, when that happened. I was like, I was on the floor. Like, I work retail. So I was on the floor with my phone out. I was like, I don't care at this point.
Right.
But, yeah, that was dope.
I'm surprised you ain't quit that day.
No. I'd be like, yo, we out.
I'm out of here. If I ever got news like that, like,
Cosmo, fuck out of here, man. Fuck y'all. I ain't come back
2
here.
minutes.
Do you ever like want to work with like major artists? If so, like who?
I keep bringing it back to her, but I would love to work with her because of that live instrumentation. I think that needs to come back like full force. Like she's bringing it back, but I think it would be dope to work with her even from a songwriting standpoint. I'm always open to learning. So like even though you admitted I got better, like I feel like working with somebody like her of her caliber would like take it to the next level.
I think her work ethic is insane.
Yes.
Because for her to be, Shorty plays like every instrument.
Yes.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's every time I see her, she's playing a new instrument. I'm like, what the heck? When did you learn bass? Right. You feel what I'm saying? Like, when was this? Do you ever want to like learn how to play instruments?
I feel like I have like long fingers. I've always been told I have long fingers. So like I feel like I want to like dabble in the piano at some point. Yeah. But so many people say like you have to do it when you're younger. But I refuse. I know. Yeah. I refuse to take that.
Yeah, fuck what they talking about. I'm trying to learn how to play piano too. When I got that solid time, when I could do this shit full time.
Yeah, bro.
And I got some time in the crib.
Yup.
Definitely piano lessons is definitely coming to float because pianos is to me is like one of the best instruments, honestly.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Next to like guitar, if anything.
Yeah.
You know, because like shit, you can put piano on anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Zaytoven did it. You know, but you got that R&B. You could do R&B. You could do hip hop. You could do jazz. You could do whatever. You could live a long damn time and with some nice piece of money know how to play piano.
That's a fact. And if you play piano, you can pretty much play any other instrument too.
That's true. That's true. That's what they said.
Guitar, because like a lot of those notes transpose well to guitar. 100. Any of those like brass instruments. Yeah. Piano's like the solid foundation. I don't even really play. Like I can play by ear like a little bit, but as far as like I kind of taught myself. Yeah, and I still probably need a little bit more teaching of music theory.
Deep teaching.
Yeah,
I need some deep teaching.
Once you get the theory behind it, bro, everything else is because it's the same notes, just different octaves. 100. It's the same notes. So once you get that theory under your belt, it's gonna be easy.
Yeah, I think piano like you said, like instrumentals is the best. Like saxophone, like I love to hear sax.
Yeah, sax is crazy.
I love to hear some
nice.
Love to hear some horns, man.
Yeah,
like horns on anything is.
And it make you feel like those are the three instruments that make you like feel.
You know what sounds I've been into recently? And I'm putting them in everything today. The harps. Like those, like bro, a harp will make you feel. Yeah, I can't even
get like little chills and shit like that.
Like, whoa, what is that? And you can put it, even if you put it as like a transition into something else. Yeah, it just makes it sound that much better.
Yeah, 100. I agree with that. I think I'm hearing that in some sounds too, like like harps.
Isn't a harp on Focus on top of her?
Yes, it's
that's a fact. That's it. Yeah,
the intro, like it comes in with the harp.
Yep. That sound is crazy.
Yeah, the harp is deep. I think like music. I think what really like people that really actually listen to music, because not every people listen to music just for like the quick turn ups or whatever like that. They don't really like sit down and enjoy it. I feel like it stems from like Africa, honestly. Like you know what I mean, like all that. Like I don't know about y'all, but every time I hear some Afrobeat, I feel like my ancestors is inside of me and they all like jumping up on one time and they just like, this is what you need to be on. You know what I mean? Like those type of drums, those type of like, not even just like, I know there's different sounds in Afrobeat. I'm just grouping it all in one, but like those like soft sounds, Afrobeats and shit like that. Like Jendea does it real well. Like the nice calypso sounds. Are you guys like Caribbean background or no?
Not that we know of.
No, okay.
I don't think so.
No.
But the West Indian type of like calypso type of like instrumentals, like those make you feel some different types of ways. You know what I mean?
Speaking of that, what's his name?
Burna Boy.
Boy.
Oh,
just
did you
came
listen to
out.
his project?
Bro,
Fire.
I was like, woo.
It's crazy.
Fire.
That's probably like top 10. I don't know.
Crazy.
It's top 10 of this year
Yo,
for sure.
yeah.
It's so good, man.
It is.
Yeah.
From kind of
From top to bottom. Top
Like,
to bottom, there's not a bad song.
I went through the whole project. I was cleaning or something. I just put it on and I was like, you know what? Somebody told me to listen to this. Let me put it on. Before I knew it, I was like, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah,
help
yeah.
it.
I was
Can't
like,
help
yo,
it.
dude,
You definitely gotta move. Definitely gotta move your feet a little bit.
Right.
Gotta move some
Gotta
shoulders.
move shoulders. You know what I'm saying?
have to.
Nah, yeah, I don't know what the hell he was saying on the project.
It sounded good though, right?
That's the thing about African music.
Yeah, that's
though.
the
Like,
that's
it's just
what-
the feeling.
It's the
you know what I'm saying?
feeling.
It's the feeling.
Exactly. It's the feeling. It's the vibe. You don't know what he's saying, but you know it's fire. Like
Yeah.
it's a good felt album. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's what I love about where the music direction is going now. Like we're starting to respect Africa
Yes.
a lot more. Like I remember back in the days, Africa was just disrespected growing up, like African booty scratch or some
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah.
People used to say but now it's like a beautiful thing that black people are now coming united as one, and we're coming up under that Africa belt. Like yeah, we stem from Africa. Like,
Yeah.
and black people want to know what part of Africa they come from.
Yeah.
Like that. Yeah. So I love that shit.
When you just asked us that, actually, like, it always bothers me. No, I don't know. Like, I know I'm black, but like, I don't know what I am.
Yeah, right.
So like, that always infuriates me. When you just asked us that, I was like, we could be Caribbean. We don't know. Like,
Yeah.
it's
We
crazy.
gotta trace our lineage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's Bayesian Jamaican, but like I want to trace it way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know what type of tribe you come from and shit like that. What type of? Because one of my goals in life, honestly, is to learn what tribe and learn that language.
Oh wow.
Now, I want to learn that language because I want to pass that shit down.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's what's needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Obviously, it's not our first language and shit
Yeah.
like that. Really, honestly.
Right.
But I need to know that just for for my children to learn. I want them to learn at an early age. So when they coming up, they speaking that shit
Yep.
in code. Like we speaking in code. Like
Yeah.
you ain't know what we talking about.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. That's what I feel like that's what black people should do because we need to know where we come from. You know what I mean? Because you need to know where you come from in order to know where you're going.
Yep.
That's a
You know what I
fact.
mean? So
That's a fact.
shit. Do you guys listen to Judea? He just came out, but I'm not Jadena. I keep saying this guy's name wrong.
Do.
I've listened to his older stuff. I haven't listened to nothing recent. He was just at SOBs the other night, I think.
Word?
Yeah, somebody. I think he was
Yeah,
at SOB. He popped up at like an R&B
Yeah,
night or something.
he be popping up. He's
Yeah.
popping up in New York when he came to do that press run
No word?
for 85 to Africa. I suggest everybody listen to that album,
Okay.
Yeah, it's fire.
bro.
Crazy. All right.
Top to bottom. It's another top to bottom.
We're gonna listen to that on the way
Good.
home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that it's a great project. So tell us more about you guys. Like tell us what you like. You know what I mean? Like whatever.
Whatever.
I've always, I don't know. I think my getting into music, like I've always been overly emotional. Like even as a kid, like my mom said I would express myself whether it was the smallest thing or the biggest thing. So I feel like that's why I've kind of channeled my like singing or having the ability to sing like into like my creative, the way I create, I guess I could say. I hope I'm saying that right. But yeah, I'm 24. I'm overly emotional. I'm proud of it.
What is your zodiac sign?
Aquarius.
Oh, okay, makes
Yeah.
sense.
Oh,
That
wow,
makes sense.
really?
Yeah, it makes sense. Oh, Aquarius emotional.
Oh.
Yeah, Aquarius emotional. We gotta know a lot of
okay.
Aquarius.
Yeah,
that
and
makes
in,
sense
And
then.
in today's like day and age, like our generation our generation especially, they like frown on people if they show too much emotion, and
Yeah.
it's like almost discouraging because you're like, well, what do you want me to do? Like bottle everything up inside? But like I feel like that's where music comes in for me. I'm able to like it's like an outlet to kind of express.
Are you like a crier? Like, do you just cry just to cry?
Really?
Said yeah.
Yo,
Yes.
Wow.
The
if my feelings are
smallest
hurt,
things.
I'll cry.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
smallest thing, and those arguments we was talking about earlier, like I won't even have said anything. I'll just like look at her a certain way, and she'll just start crying. My mom be like, "What'd you say?" I'm like, "I didn't say nothing." She just started crying. So yeah, you cry. You a crier.
I'm just emotional, but it's whatever. It's whatever.
But crying is healthy though, no?
Yeah, I would say it's expressive. You gotta express yourself.
Does it help you though? Does it help you like once you cry? Like, do you feel better after?
Not necessarily, but like I don't know. I just don't ever want to be one of those people that is like super closed off or feels like they don't need to cry. Because I have so many friends who are like, oh, I'm not going to cry. Like, I don't want anybody to see me cry. I'm like, what's wrong with crying? Like, if you got to cry, if you feel the need to cry, cry. Like, express yourself.
It's hard for me to cry. I'm going to be very honest.
Really?
I haven't cried in years.
I don't cry often at all.
I haven't cried in years.
It's been a while.
I'll cry from a good movie, a good song. Like, if anything makes me
I want to
feel,
cry from a movie bad.
I cry so hard from a movie. Like, I'll look, like, people look over me and be like, you good? Like, you acting like you were in the movie and you personally like had that go like you went through that.
What's a good movie to cry to?
I'm interested on that.
Oh my gosh, there's this movie where there's this little boy who has like a condition with his face. What is it called? And he wears like a helmet to school. And like at the end of the movie, I cannot remember the name of the movie, but Julia Roberts is in it. And it's like at the end of the movie, like finally, like he makes friends and like is able to take his helmet off and like embrace like how he was born. The end of that movie, because they give him like an award for like the most growth. Tears, waterworks. Like I cry.
I can't cry for stuff like
I
that.
know, like I'll be watching movies like that, and she'll be over there, and I'm like, "Yo, what is wrong with you? That's like a dope ending of the story. Why you crying?
Because it's happy.
Because it's happy. It's a happy cry.
Oh my gosh.
When I went to go see Lion King, people was crying in the movie theater when Mufasa died.
When he died?
That was me.
People was crying?
Huh?
People was crying for
I was like,
That was me.
I can't.
I can't cry. I'm like, I really want to cry, but I can't. I felt sad,
Yeah.
but I can't cry.
Yeah.
You know, like what's that movie that the Nazi boy was stuck in the gas chamber?
Something about pajamas.
Yeah, something
boy in
like
striped pajamas. Or
yeah,
something
like that. Something like that.
know
Some
what
like
you're
real crazy movie. Like the boy father was a Nazi, and they had like a concentration camp. The boy made friends with a Jewish boy from the from thing. He got under the cage, right, and then was in the camp, and then they put all of them in a gas chamber.
Yep.
When his father noticed, it was like a whole thing. And I was like, damn, I kind of want to cry because it's a sad moment, but I can't cry. You know what I mean? The Notebook, I can't cry to.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's a
nah.
good one.
Nah.
Selena.
Only women cry to
yeah.
that.
I
never heard a dude cry to Notebook, bro. That's like a woman's favorite.
Have you ever heard of a guy crying to like anything?
Sure.
Yeah. Like what?
I don't know. I've cried at one movie.
What movie you cry to? Because I know you don't cry. What movie you cry to? I want to watch it.
One film, and that was Rent.
Oh, that is a
Rent.
that's
Okay, I can
a
see
good
Rent.
one. I
You gotta go.
Yeah.
I gotta go for that.
Rent is not a movie to cry to.
It
I think
is,
I say
though.
It's like Four Color Girls or something like that.
No. Rent. Because you know the dude, the gay dude, he had AIDS. He
HIV.
died of AIDS and all. Like it was, and at the very end, they all sang. It was sad. It was a sad moment.
Did you cry or like you teared up?
Well, I mean, like I think something ran down.
Okay, I'm a tearer. I might tear.
Okay.
All right.
I could tear.
Yeah, but
But
I
I
full blown.
I cannot cry. I haven't full blown cry since I was like 10.
I think that's probably me too. Now that I think about it, I
Yeah.
don't think I really cry.
Yeah.
I think I do tears. So
Yeah.
like the last movie though, to be quite honest, I think the last movie that I teared was John Q, and that was a minute
That was a minute ago. John Q was such a great movie. Though.
And I was young. I was like teenager, I want to say, and I was like, yeah, okay, that touched me. a little bit.
That's a sad movie.
The last time I actually remember like tearing though, like for real, like in my adult life, I would say was when I think it was when Obama got elected because I was in college, like for the first time.
Shit.
I was in college, and just to see like everybody's excitement and like everybody,
It was a different type of time.
It was different, for me. And I went to a HBCU. Shout out to Clark Atlanta.
Oh shit, man.
But
That's dope.
Yeah, they just had like a whole thing down there. That's a whole nother story. But
Wait, what you mean?
they had like, I guess they do this thing every year called Olive Branch, and they have like because Morehouse, Spelman, and Clark are all right there together.
Yeah.
So they have like a block party just to kind of like all the freshmen and like the new students kind
that's
of meet
lit.
each other. But some idiot, got into a fight or something out there, and they started shooting at each other. So they hit. I want to say they hit like two CAU students and 2 Spelman students. They didn't die, but they got hit. So like it's just all the more senseless gun violence, just ridiculous. But down there when I was in school when the election happened, and like everybody came out on the street, like everybody was partying. Everybody was like, celebrating the fact that we have a black president, So that was like a touching moment for me because I was like, I even saw an older lady and she was sitting at the bus stop bawling. And this is, I think, what kind of got me. Like she was bawling and we were like, yo, why are you crying? Like, this is great. Like she act like she lost a family member.
She's seen it all, though.
And she said, she was like, yo, I never thought I would live to see this day. I never thought I would live to see a black president. And I was just like, wow.
Yeah, that's
you know, she had to be like 70.
I'm not gonna hold you. Like I get emotional now, like seeing like the clips of his election today.
Yeah,
like, that, like seeing all the black people in the audience that you know have lived through that shit, and they never. I was like, damn, it hits me now more.
Yeah,
but I was in 8th grade, I think, when he got like this. So it didn't hit me back then like that.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, oh, I understand what this means for real today as an adult. You know what I'm saying? So I get emotional now looking back at Obama. Like, damn, I miss you, son. I ain't gonna.
Yeah.
Oh well, you got an idiot like Trump in the office. You know, I don't even think another black man would probably ever get elected, or even a black woman or whatever like that.
I don't know.
Trump might get elected again.
Yeah, let's hope not. But again, I have my own opinions on the political. I just think that, I don't know.
Do you trust politics?
Not really.
Do you?
I think it's a game. They've narrowed it down to a game. It's no longer about the people and what we need, or like what we need is like as a unit. It's a game. Like it's a tactic. Like people, they out here lying. Like that's how they get elected, and they know if they get in, they can do whatever they want. Like politics is just like shiesty.
To me, it's deeper than that, though. I think a lot of it stems from, I mean, it's a mentality that they want you to have. They want you to think a certain way. They want you to behave a certain way, and if it's not how they, want you to behave. That's why the system is the way that it is. Like they're going to try to force you to conform to their system. Yeah. And that's why I don't trust politics, because for me, like I've always kind of been that way. Like you can't really force me to do anything. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna do what I feel is in the best interest of me, what's in the best interest of my kids, what's in the best interest of my family. But I think a lot of people, again, they get caught up. It almost is like a brainwashing. Like, oh, well, we're not supposed to do that. We're not supposed to do this. We're only supposed to eat this. We're only supposed to eat that. But there's a lot of things, bro. And I mean, I can sit here and talk for days about stories I've heard from just different family members, old heads, just saying, yo, that's not true. People that even been in the military, like, yeah, that's not true. Yeah. Like, you got to think differently. You got to, So
people that have been in the military, I've had a conversation with this military vet, and he was like, man, this country is going to shit.
Yeah.
And he was just being honest, and he was like, don't ever, like, if you know anybody that's trying to join the Army, don't join it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Trust me, ain't nothing what you think it is. Mm-hmm. And I was like, damn, that's deep coming from you. Like, it looks like you're doing pretty well. I was working at retail as well and buying some expensive shit. I was like, you're doing pretty well, but like, he's like, nah, like, this ain't it. Mm-hmm. And like, when you could look at somebody in their eyes, and when they like, nah, like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, almost like, I made a mistake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not too big on politics. I made it my mission to like learn more about politics this year because I needed to, especially with this fool in office. And I was one of those guys that didn't vote because I don't do that. Like politics to me is just like, I vote locally.
Yeah.
When I met with the president, I'm like, just like Hillary was like one of those. All politics to me is the same.
Yeah.
So like, I just don't know who to believe. And when I was watching, I'm like, y'all both sound crazy. Mm-hmm. Y'all both sound crazy, and none of y'all represent me. Yes. You know what I mean? Even Obama, like, even though he was great and all that stuff like that, I feel like I wanted it to be more militant, and I feel like that's just it's asking too much from somebody that's in that type of position, but I would rather somebody be militant. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, yo, take like real change. Yeah. Because like black people are really just like still living the way we all living from a while. You know what I mean? And some of us are well off, but you got like, I live in Brooklyn, Flatbush, and you just see like a lot of shit, and it's just like strong poverty. Yeah, man. You know what I mean? Like the average household making, I think it's like $26,000 a year.
Yeah,
that's insane. That's nothing.
Can't live off of
Can't
that.
Live off that. Not in New York.
Not live off of that.
Not in New York.
Nope.
You know what I mean? So like, when you see things like that, it's just like, and I know that like that pays well, like that plays into like local politicians and shit like that. But like, it just gotta be some change, man. I feel like I feel like we only could change it like if we do like what Atlanta did. Like Atlanta has like a strong black mecca.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's part of the reason why I want to move down there like heavy.
Bro, Atlanta, people like Tyler Perry, people.
Oh
like,
yeah, Tyler Perry. Yeah, we talked about him last week.
Yeah, like Dallas Austin, like a lot of the prominent, figures have gone to Atlanta, and that's really kind of the mission that they said that they set out to accomplish was like, yo, we want to make this the Hollywood of the East Coast, but the Hollywood of the East Coast for black people.
Right? Yeah.
And that Tyler Perry, I forget the statistic, and I wish I had the number, but he employed crazy amounts of people by building that studio down there.
Yeah.
So now you have people that have, and Clark Atlanta is a huge school for like media and, television, film, that type of deal. So now you have opportunities that these Clark Atlanta kids that, would graduate with these degrees and try to go to like the bigger cities like LA or New York, and those job markets from that industry are saturated.
Yeah, 100.
Now you have something super local right in the backyard where he can offer internships. He can offer, career paths for them to like, get to LA.
Especially with that type of like college on your resume.
Exactly.
Because they'll like those type of corporations, they'll see that college on your resume. Oh, it's HBCU. We don't want that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know
and it's not even half the time that they're overly saturated. It's just that we have to create our own opportunity, unfortunately, because the system has been created to keep us where we are or keep us at a certain level.
100.
So it's like it stems way back to like what we're still encountering today. Like it goes way back. That's why there's so much stuff. Sometimes people don't know how to wrap their head around it because they're like, okay, like it goes back like years, decades. So
and
that's what it is.
And it makes. And I struggle. I was talking to my friend about that shit. I was like, kind of just want to like sometimes like feel like you want to give up.
Yeah.
But like when you think about like social issues and shit like that, because it does stem back from like that system was created centuries ago. Like, you know what I mean? Like 400. We just passed the date for 400 years since the first slave ship arrived, right?
Mm-hmm. Wow.
In Virginia, and it's just like, damn. 400 years and we still going through some bullshit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Same shit. You know what I mean?
Disguised a lot better today than it was back then.
Yeah.
It's the same stuff, though.
It's the same shit. Like, prisons still like, it's basically slavery, you know what I mean? With like, 80% or 70% of African Americans in prisons and stuff like that. And they getting paid like 50 cents or $1 or whatever like they are.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just disgusting for them building things that we use on a day-to-day, And it's just like, damn, kind of makes you want to just like, fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I see why not artists necessarily, just want to say entertainers, just don't wrap their heads around it too much because it could fuck you up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely can. I think a lot of people are figuring it out, though, honestly, which I'm glad to see. A lot of people are like, because for me, I even use myself as an example. I was taught growing up, the way to become successful is you go to school, you get a degree, you get out of school, you get a good job.
Everybody.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and you work your way up. Like, you start entry level and then you work your way up. But a lot of people, I think what they're figuring out is that's not going to get you the generational wealth that you're looking to get. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not going to get you to the point where, okay, I can now be my own boss. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're only going to get as far as they want you to get.
100.
So, in order for you to have your own and actually build that legacy, I forgot who I was talking about this the other day with, but they were like, yeah, I'm trying to, build a legacy. I want to, leave a mark. I don't want to just work my entire life to pay bills. And then, before I know it, I'm on my deathbed and I haven't really accomplished anything other than climbing a corporate ladder.
Yeah. Right.
So I try to encourage people, even young people now. Like, if somebody's like, yo, you want to come talk at this school? Heck yeah, I want to come talk at this school because I want to talk to these young people and be like, listen, find out at a young age what you're passionate about. Whatever that passion is, figure out how you can monetize it. Figure out how you can survive off of that. Like, because you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
And that, I got a late start on it, but like that's what I'm still trying to accomplish. I'm trying to get to the point where, because music for me is like, I love to do it. I would do it for free.
I wouldn't call it a late start. I wouldn't call it a
all
late
right,
start.
well, okay, I'm sorry. Not a late start. But, a lot, when you're competing with like 16, 17-year-old producers out
Everybody
here.
has their moment and their time and their journey. Like,
That's
you
true.
can't compare.
You're right. The lady on Black Panther, the old lady, that was her first acting role ever. She was in her like 80s or 70s, I want to say. So you're right. I'm sorry. I stand corrected. You're absolutely right.
Miss Positivity over
But, yeah, man, I feel like you got to tap into that. You have to in order to be able to, to live the life that you want to live. Otherwise, that's why all these people are dying from stress-related illnesses and diseases and all that type of stuff, man. You got to take care of your mind before anything, you know?
You gotta take care of your mind, and you got, like, you obviously what we talked about before, like, you gotta know yourself, and you gotta know because like when you know yourself, you know what you're passionate about.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And the hard thing is monetizing off of that shit.
Yeah.
That's the hardest. That's the most difficult thing. Because support doesn't come easy. Can you guys speak to that?
That's a fact. Whew, Jesus. Yeah, man.
Everybody kind of looks at us like we're crazy. Like when we're like, oh, we do music. Like that's what we're trying to do music. They're like, okay. Like we haven't seen you on the TV or we haven't like heard you on the radio. Because that's how everybody like equates success.
Yeah,
so.
You can say that again. That's how people like gauge success. Like if I see you on TV, if I see you with a celeb, you know what I mean? But yeah, go ahead.
That's a fact.
But we're working, and like it is hard to get people to wrap their head around it. I could say our parents though, from that standpoint, they're very supportive, and a lot of people like I'm in a vocal class that we go to in the city, and they'll say like it's dope that your mom will like come into a session with you or come to like vocal lessons with you, because my mom would never do that. Like she would just never, and I'm like, wow, I take that for granted. Yeah. And I'm like, wow, that's like actually like a really big thing.
Parents are not supportive. Honestly.
A lot of times they're not, because they look at it as like, oh man, like what are you doing? You know, you wasting time, throwing your life away. Right. But we were blessed enough to have two parents that kind of, I think at first they were probably like, all right, cool, this is just something they're gonna do. You know, like this is something they're gonna do together. I'm happy to spend the time together as siblings. But over, you know, as we continued to started taking, you know, we started taking it more serious, they were like, oh, wow, okay, yeah, let's keep going. Like, what do y'all need? You know, my mom helped us buy studio equipment. Yeah. She helped us, you know, she would drive us different places. Like, we all kind of have been working together. But I think support's important for,
100.
You know, any type of creative. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have that support system, not just family, but also friends too. Yeah. So, like, on Instagram, social media, like, we have great platforms and technology. And, you know, you see all these memes like, oh, you support, you know, like right now the hot thing is the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Like, you know, you go out and...
Can't believe that shit.
I can't either, man. Like, that marketing is crazy.
$23.7 million they generated for
much
Popeyes.
Free promo is crazy.
$23.7 million they generated for Popeyes. And that's Black Twitter alone.
And you know what that shows you? The power of social media.
Power of social media.
And the power of black people on social media. Because you spread a word, but that's all it takes. That's all it takes. That's what viral, that's where that whole term came from. 100. So, like, you know, I think for us, we've been blessed enough to have people that actually kind of support the vision. You know, they see kind of what we're doing. And, you know, we try to keep it as close as we can, because you got to have people you trust, too. You
got
know,
to.
You don't want to have people kind of latching on or whatever. But, yeah, to her point, I mean, a lot of my friends will say still, like, oh, man, you still out here trying to do this production thing? Like, you still out here? I'm like, yeah, but, you know, I was in the studio with Busta Rhymes the other night. Where was you at? You know, like, what are you doing? But, you know, it's just like there's always going to be haters, too. Like, but, you know, again, we've been blessed to have more support than hate. So.
And if you didn't take a picture of Busta Rhymes, that's probably what it is. You
exactly.
know what I mean? So, like,
it don't count. You wasn't there. You wasn't there. You wasn't with him.
And that's how they gauge success. Like, if they saw you with Busta Rhymes, they're like, yo, you doing big.
Right.
You made it now.
Yo, you doing what you doing.
Exactly.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, yo, that's the craziest shit. You know what I mean? Like, people, man, listen, I'm big on support. You know, like, I support people that never asks, and I don't like. You don't gotta ask me to support. If your shit dope, I'm supporting regardless.
Right. Exactly.
That's all it takes from me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, because support doesn't cost $1, and even if it did, so what?
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because if it's dope, it is dope. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I'm always down for support.
And doing this podcast for like the past 2 years or whatever that we've been doing it, it's giving me a better appreciation for support too. Because like the scene of support that we've gotten, like genuine support, like people who we don't know
at all,
but like give us a Facebook post, Instagram post, like damn, where you like is that much? You want to tell anybody else about it?
Yeah.
Now like any chance I get, I always make sure like I give somebody some encouraging words or like throw some up too. I know how much that means. You know what I'm saying? I know how much like that feels good.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you doing something out the love and somebody else likes it enough to do. Nah, I'm supporting you hands down, no question.
When it's a random person too, it hits different.
It does hit different.
Yeah. That shit hits totally different.
It's crazy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like when words, because words mean a lot. You know, then like sometimes, some days you might feel like you want to give up.
Yeah.
You know, but like when you get like at least, even if it's one, like if one, like I ain't gonna lie, like us doing this podcast, I mean obviously we got more than one listener, but like even if we had just one listener, like damn you dope, like and it was every week, like damn you dope, like you listen to us. We shout out to Portland. Shout out to Portland.
Portland rocking with us.
Oh, yo, Portland rocking with us hard. It's actually more than Brooklyn.
Word?
And that's sick.
Wow.
That's insane.
in the middle of the country.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
shout out to Portland, Oregon. We rock with y'all. We hit us up for a live show. And shit. But anyway, but not yet. Like when you get that type of recognition, and then you see like where you at on the map, that's kind of fire. Like you know what I mean. And it makes you want to keep going. Like shit, let's see where this shit go.
Yo,
And it's funny.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
It's funny how it comes at the right time. Like,
Yo,
just when you about to say that, right? Just when I start getting discouraged, like somebody will comment under one of my covers and be like, "Yo, you're really dope. Like, keep going." Like, I'll be like, "Wow, God!" Like it's crazy because I'll be like, "That's insane how it comes like just at the right time."
Yeah, I mean, as a creative, you can't always like you're gonna have those moments where you're like, "Dang, like, I haven't." For me, like if I haven't made a beat in like a week. I'm like, yo, I'm slacking.
Yeah,
I feel like I haven't done anything. And then, sometimes I'll be like, I haven't worked with anybody in a long time and nobody's reached out to me to collaborate or work or anything. And I'll be like, dang, man, maybe this is it. Like, it's the end of the road. Right. Then you get a text message or a DM or, somebody will like something or comment under something. You'd be like, oh, okay, all right, cool. I'm going to keep going. Right. But I always tell her, I'm like, yo, it's like, every time I feel that way, and we're kind of spiritually based, or we grew up like with spirituality, so I'll be like, yo, it's like God telling me, like keep going, like this is what you're supposed to do, and I'm a firm believer in that. Like if you're not supposed to be there, something's gonna happen where it's gonna take you out of that situation.
Yeah,
want it. Like I think we're on the right path, and to her point, everybody's journey is different, and I think I'm grateful for our journey because. We've learned a lot along the way. We've learned what to do, what not to do, how to handle ourselves, how to conduct ourselves. Just like you, when I was texting you, telling us we were here. Yeah. He texted me back. He was like, "Dang, y'all professionals. Like, y'all show up early. Y'all don't show up on time. Y'all show up early." Yeah. And that's one thing my dad has like instilled in us from like young.
Show early.
He's like, I don't care what time. And I think he got it from his dad. Mm-hmm. So his dad, I think he had to be to work by like 8 a.m. His dad would drop him off at 5:30 in the morning. Whole like 2.5 hours early. So my dad be like, yeah, I just had to like, sit and read the newspaper or something. But you know what that taught me? It taught me that I'm gonna show up early everywhere I go. And I was like, yo, but that's a little excessive, bro. 2.5 hours? That's crazy. So when I got my first job, I worked at the movies, and I got my first job. My shift would start at like 6. My dad would drop me off at like 5 o'clock. Nope. And I'm like, dang, I guess I'm gonna go sit in here and watch this movie because, like, I don't have.
Said, nope.
Right.
Not me.
You always late?
No, I'm not always late, but he tried to do that to me one time when he took me to work, like one of my first jobs, and I refused to get out of the car. I was like, no, you gonna sit here? We gonna wait. I was like, mommy waits. Like, I'm not getting out of the car. Yeah. And he was like, Janay, get out of the car. I was like, no, like it's like an hour before I'm like scheduled to work. So.
Yeah, I never.
I can't do that.
Yeah, I can't do it that early.
10, 15 minutes early, okay.
15 minutes early is probably like 30 minutes the most.
Yeah, that's clean.
Yes.
That's clean. But like I've never I never enjoyed something as much as this to be on time.
Right. That's another thing. I've never had a job I've been like eager to go to. Anyway, so like, I don't want to be there that early anyways.
Exactly.
I want to get out as soon as I come in here, so I'm not trying to be here that early.
Nah, I feel you.
100 though. That's real. That's really me. Like I be planning to like leave ahead of time. I just be like, nah. Like, and that's the problem with these jobs. Like, that's why I can't wait until like what I mean. Some shit.
You and I both, bro. We all on the grind trying to get out of there.
That grind is real because that job shit is like, it's a whole dub.
It is.
You know what I mean? Listening to somebody tell you to do shit or whatever, like, or like you got this schedule here and you really can't, you want to make plans, but you can't because you got to work and shit like that. Like, I got to work after this and I ain't even trying to even go to that bitch. You know what I mean? And it's just like, I don't want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to like do this, have a platform, then probably go somewhere else, and create some music or whatever I'm doing in life or act or whatever. I don't know. Something creative is always what I really want to do. You know what I mean? Whatever that takes. That's all I want to do, and it doesn't feel like I'm working. You know what I mean?
Facts.
It just feels like I'm like living life. You know what I mean?
That's what they say is the true definition of success, though.
When
you get to where you are eager. I think it was Gary V. Gary V was like, yo.
I like Gary V sometimes.
Yo, shout out to Gary V. Yo, he's got some gems. But he was like, like if you can wake up every morning You do, like, you're on your own schedule.
Yeah.
You know what you have to do. Nobody's really telling you what you have to do.
Right.
You follow your own schedule. You're doing what you love. You're doing what you're passionate about.
Yeah.
That's success. He's like, you don't have to hit a certain, net worth. You don't have to, if you enjoy cleaning a school, like if that's, you want to be a janitor at a school,
Then that's it.
and that's just success for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, your success isn't the same as mine and vice versa. So, yeah, man, I think that's what everybody, again, that goes back to that whole passion thing. Like, you find your passion.
Yeah.
And I feel like in school, they need to cater more towards, that's why I love the fact that, like, there's these initiatives and these programs that are still trying to keep these creative schools alive, because a lot of these kids, they're not on the same path, but they try to force you down that same, like, okay, you all got to learn the same stuff. And yeah, basic knowledge and general knowledge, in order to be a productive citizen, that's important. But if you find that somebody has a specific skill or a specific talent that's God-given, tap into that.
Yeah.
Like, figure out how to cultivate and nurture that so that they can get, to get to a better point quicker. You know what I'm saying? Like, they can get to being that producer. They can get to being that actor. They can get to being that artist, whether it's a painter or like a spoken word artist, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, help them get there. Not just silo them into, everybody's got to figure this out. So this is what we think is going to be the best for our, the world or the country, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. Like, podcasting was a passion I didn't know, like, I had. You know what I'm saying? Like, I did the whole college formula thing. I thought I needed to go to college, graduate, do whatever.
Yeah.
But while I was in, I was like, I don't want to be in college no more, bro. Like, I was in college for fashion. I was like, I don't care about fashion as much as I thought I did.
Same.
And so, like, we just started this podcast just off of whim. Let's just do it. And over these, I'm like, oh, like, I really like this shit. Like, this is like this is ill to me. I want to do this shit every week. I look forward to doing this shit every week.
Yeah.
And so this is become a passion that, like, I didn't know I like doing. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But now I just want to see where this goes. You feel me? Like,
Facts, man.
facts.
Keep
Yeah,
going.
I could definitely attest to that shit. When I was in the same major as him, fashion merchandising. I was like, this ain't it, buddy. This ain't it. I was like, fuck that shit. I told my mom, I said, Mom, listen, you trust me? Yeah. I'm dropping out. I'm dropping out of college. She was like, what? I was like, I can't do it.
No,
I
it's
can't
not
do
for
it.
everybody.
It's really not for everybody. And like, honestly though, if I'm very honest, if I went to a different college, like if I went to Howard, which was my choice, but I was thinking about my mom's too much. I didn't want to really like put her in a situation. My mom, I didn't want to leave her or something like that. Like, and I thought about the price. That's like, I don't know how much it is now, but that shit was $40,000 a year, and that's ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Probably more. I'd say about the same or more.
Probably.
Yeah.
100. And it's like, I really want to go to Howard. I really want to go to HBCU. I probably would have been in a different headspace. I probably would have been, yeah, exactly. I probably would have been in a different headspace, or probably like had like a lot more networks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because HBCUs, that's why it's dope. You graduated, right?
Yeah.
That's why it's dope. Like that. That you went to HBCU. I find that so interesting. Did you go to college?
Yeah, I did,
Yeah,
but not
it-
HBC. Far from HBC.
Same.
Yeah, Rider University.
Right. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what that.
Nobody does.
It's in Jersey. It's Lawrenceville, I think.
Yeah,
Lawrenceville,
by like
New
the
Jersey.
Princeton area.
You graduated?
I did.
Yeah.
With a public relations degree.
Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it?
No, that's when I was like, I want to do music. Like, that's when I was like, really said no. Like, we need to record. Like, because this is not. This is not
She
it.
came to me dead serious one day. She's like, bro, I can't do this. Like, I'm gonna get my degree, but I can't
You can't do that.
work no 9 to 5 every day.
Yeah, right.
So we gotta figure this music thing out. And I had already been working for probably like 4 or 5 years
Yeah,
already.
by that point.
And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I don't. It's corporate.
Because doing the same shit every day,
bro, it's,
ain't it?
Nah, especially when you're a creative.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you sitting there, because all I'm thinking about is like, oh man, I just heard this sound. That sound is fire. Like,
Yeah.
I want to go home and create this beat right now. I gotta sit here and type up this damn report. Like, it's not.
That's kind of with us. I'll be at work. I'm like, damn, like what just happened?
Yeah, right.
Damn, I can't wait to talk about it on the podcast.
Right.
Writing my notes down, like, I can't wait for Saturday.
I can't wait for Saturday. Like,
Man.
damn, like even listening to music, like, damn, I can't wait till I get into like when artists start inviting us to the studio and shit like that, just for like our ear and shit.
Right.
Because I think we critique artists like on a different like level than I've heard like other podcasts. You know what I mean? Like, I think like we straightforward, because I either tell you that shit terrible or it's hot.
Fact.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even like when I say terrible, I always say that. When I say terrible, it's not like terrible.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just not good.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But I say terrible so it can really like hit. Like
Yeah.
if the artist is listening, like I want it to hit you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I need, like, it should be better.
Facts.
You know what I mean? I don't know how to approach artists. That's not one thing I struggle with, because like any artist I work with, they know me. So they know, like, yo, like, if he don't like it, then it ain't slapping.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I'll be like, yo, I'll listen to something, I'll be like, nah, that shit was terrible.
So yeah,
Nah, like, yeah, I was like, you could do better. Like, you definitely do better. And then they won't take it any type of way. They'll be like, you know what, like, I respect it. Like, that's just it.
You really need that like in your corner, so you don't need a yes man. Like, oh yeah, that sounds dope. Like,
Yes
put
men are
that
terrible.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yo,
it's like the worst thing you could have.
We got one that we run by like everything. So we Will Downing, he's a singer. Shout out to Will Downing. He's I don't know how old he is.
I wouldn't mention that.
But he's been out and been around for a minute, so he's really, really experienced, you know, in the music industry. Like, he writes, he's an artist, he produces a little bit. So he lived across the street from us as we were growing up in Jersey. When we had first moved to Jersey, he moved in probably like a year or so after. So, you know, he found out we were doing music, and he was just like, oh, okay, cool. You know, at first, I don't think he really took it serious either. He was like, all right, that's what's up. You know, let me hear some stuff that y'all are doing, you know, blah, blah, blah. So we would play him some stuff, and he would never say anything. He would always be like, that's cool. That's cool. So we would always be like, he didn't like it. Like, yeah, he didn't really like it. He didn't really say nothing. But now, like, just recently, probably I'd say within the last year or two, because he had been, like, having her from a young age, just, like, sing on his albums, like, giving her album credits. And I guess he knew later in life, like, if she really wanted to do this, that would pay off for her.
Yeah.
Right? So, you know, he would put her on his albums, like, singing background vocals and stuff. And, like, just recently, I'd say probably within the last year, we would give him stuff that we worked on and be like, hey, can you listen to this and like give us, you know, your critique? Before, he wouldn't play it all the way through. Like, we'd sit with him and he'd listen to it. He'd play like maybe, I don't know, maybe a minute, if that. Probably not even a minute, like 30 seconds, maybe 40 seconds of it. Be like, all right, yeah, that's cool. And we'd be like, okay, like, can we get a little bit more feedback? He's like, nah, I mean, I like it. You know, I don't necessarily know if it's my type of music, but that's cool, you know? Recently, we've taken some stuff over there, and he's actually saying, he's bobbing his head. He's like, all right, yeah, he'll let it play all the way through, and then he'll say, like, yeah, no, I like that one. I really like that one. That was
progression right there.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's what we kind of were like, all right, cool. And he'll say things like, yeah, y'all keep going, man. Y'all, you know, y'all are working. But he's the type of person that he's not going to give it to you. Like, he's not going to, because he could probably hook us up with whoever he wanted to hook us up with. But he's like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, y'all going to work for it. And I respect him for that. Cause
you guys got to work. Like,
you got to put the work in.
Got to put the work in, because obviously the talent is there, you know what I mean? But, like, if it's given to you, then it won't feel as great.
Nope. Exactly.
So many people have been thrown into it. My vocal, Craig Derry, my vocal coach.
Shout out to Craig Derry.
Craig Derry Vocal Fitness. He will always say, like, some artists got thrown into it, and that's why they didn't have, like, a career of longevity, because, like, if you don't know what to do with it once you actually get there, that's why you kind of almost have to enjoy the journey of getting there, because then you know to appreciate it a little bit more and how to keep it. So, like, you, like, I don't want to go back to, like, being, like, that struggling artist. So you got to, like, work to keep it. So... yeah, if you get thrown in it, you're like, oh, I just got this, like, on a whim. Like, oh my gosh, I got a record deal. Let me just willy nilly this and just record this album and put it out. People will love it. Like, I got this record deal, but then you put it out as trash.
Yeah, that's how a lot of artists is also on the back burner too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, on the shelf and shit like that.
Yep.
If you was to sign with someone, who would you like want to sign with?
I don't even know, because we always have this discussion.
Would you want to do independent? Independent, sign with someone or sign with a label? Which one?
I feel like if we could get, I'm not opposed to either.
Okay.
Let me put it that way. But if right now, like, us operating as like a machine of our own, like, independently, it's very hard, like, with money, like, monetarily and stuff like that. Wow. So if we could get some, like, major label backing, that'd be great, but still have, like, creative control. That's the ideal situation.
Ideal, right?
Whether that would happen or not.
Ideal, right?
Yeah. It's a whole nother, like... That's a whole nother arena too now. It's so different than it was. Like, what they're creating now is what they call these hybrid labels. So they're putting, like, trying to think of an example, like 300 Entertainment, for instance. Okay. 300 Entertainment is a hybrid that falls up under the Atlantic umbrella. Atlantic is like their distribution house, and they kind of fund everything, and they're the bank or like the operation funding it. Yeah. But 300 is the one that kind of controls everything. So like, you have like a label within a label within a label within a major, you know?
And so Empire's like that, right?
Yeah. Yep. Empire's the same way. Yeah. But I think that's why a lot of these artists are creating their own labels because they're doing everything independently, but then they're creating their own kind of like subset label because now you're a business essentially if you're an artist. So if you create your own label, you pay yourself out of that business. There's a whole bunch of tax advantages and a whole bunch of different stuff for creating your own label. So I think that's kind of like what we were trying to do. But again, to your point, independent is... I mean, it's tough because it costs money. Like everything costs money. Yeah. Everything.
Getting into the city, then then we get hungry in the city. We're like, dang, we gotta eat. Like we just ate before we left home. We got budget for everything. So.
Not only that, but like marketing. Like you gotta market the stuff appropriately. You have to.
That marketing shit is a lot of money,
bro. Campaigns, marketing campaigns are
Instagram shit or whatever you're doing. Everything's a lot of money, man.
It is, but I mean, I going back to the whole journey thing. I have a different view on it. Like as far as the journey, I think to me the journey never ends, right? So like if you think about it, you're gonna always want to get better. You should anyway.
Of course,
like you should never plateau. And I thought somebody has probably said it, but I coined it as my own quote probably like 2 years ago. I was like, if you are ever satisfied with where you are and the work that you've put in, you'll never reach your full potential. Because like you always got to be able to work. You always got to want to work. You know what I mean? And I've heard somebody say too, like, yeah, man, once you get there, like once you get the success, like you've made it. And then people like Dr. Dre and Scott Storch, like all these other producers that I look up to, they're like, yeah, once you make it, that's when the work really begins. You work harder at that point in time. So like for me, I always want to get better. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I always want to be around producers that have been doing it for 30 plus years, 40 plus years. Yeah. Even people that have been doing it for 10 years. All these young dudes, bro. I've been in studios with 16, 17-year-olds that can teach me more than a 30-year-old producer can.
Cause they got more time too and shit like that. Yeah. You know what I mean, they're like really in that shit. Like, I would love to like see how Metro Boomin be up in that shit. Like, you know what I mean?
That'd be interesting.
Huh?
Me too.
Yeah, like I would like to see, Take Keith or whatever. Like, I just want to see like, they're not like to me my favorite producer is Premier.
Oh man, Premier,
Pete Rock and those guys. Like I'm a hip hop head.
Facts.
So I like those hard drums and those beautiful like DJ like the scratches and shit like that. I love all that shit. You know what I mean? So I would love to sit in the studio with Premier and just like watch him. Oh, like No ID. Like I've seen No ID make a beat on YouTube and I was like, he did. He remade that Jay-Z shit. No what Autotune? What's that? How that song go? You know what I'm talking about?
DOA.
Yeah, DOA.
Yeah, yep.
He remade it on a beat machine, and I'm like, damn, how you do that shit, bro? And it was clean. And I'm like, damn, I would love to be in the studio with No ID and just talk to him. Like, you know what I mean? Not even like. He don't even got to make a beat.
Yeah.
I just want to have a conversation like, about life. You know what I mean? Because that's usually how, like, the best shit be coming about anyway.
That's exactly 100% correct. We were in a session a couple weeks ago.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
And we were working with a songwriter. And the engineer, producer, like, shout out to X-Man. He just moved to L.A., so he's getting settled out in L.A. But he was ready to work. He was like, yo, all right, cool. So last time we were here, we did blah, blah, blah. The songwriter was like, hold up, wait a second, time out. Let's get to know each other. I don't know them. They don't know me. Let's talk. So we sat there and talked for like a solid hour, probably like the first hour of the session. Yeah. We just sat there and just vibe, just talk, about life, like what our day was like,
Yeah.
And then it kind of flowed into the session. And then that's how we created what we created that night, in my opinion, because we all kind of level set and got to know one another. So it's important. Yeah. That energy thing and what you were saying was very important.
Yeah. You gotta have like a conversation with somebody instead of like, because they're more than what they're doing at that moment. Facts. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Like they're just a person.
Yep.
So like when you realize that, it's just like, we could both come to some nice like common ground, and then make a great music. Like I would still sit down with Kanye. You know what I mean? I wouldn't take a picture because I can't have my image like that. Can't have my image taken. I'm so black. I can't be like with Kanye because Kanye be out here. I don't know what Kanye doing. You know what I mean?
Kanye.
But Kanye musically though.
Genius, bro.
Genius.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
And it would be dope. Like I know me and you talked about it. Like imagine us sitting down with just Kanye and just like talking about shit. Like cause Kanye brain be
Yeah.
He be bouncing, bro. So imagine the conversation that would be. Pharrell even like
Pharrell.
Yeah.
like all of the greats. Their minds are just
different.
They operate on such a different wavelength, but they got so much, like you said, they got so much going on up there. All these creative ideas. They were talking about Michael Jackson like that. Michael Jackson, they were like, yo, if I sit down and talk to Michael, you can't follow nothing Michael says. But when he gets in the booth or, you know, he's producing a record, like it just all clicks and it all makes sense.
Yeah. Right.
But, you know, to sit and have a conversation with him, I think it was Mr. Will that told me you tried to talk to Michael Jackson one time. And he was just like, well, it's all good, you know. We're just all here under the sun. And like what the hell is he talking about? But, you know, and then he said when they got to work, he was just like, oh, shoot.
Genius is a little wacky.
Crazy, man.
A little wacky.
Kanye, I think, is on that same level, bro.
Yeah,
same level of genius.
Most definitely.
There's a lot of people. Kanye, I think, is for sure.
Yeah. Producer level, like artistry level, period. Like he's one of those guys. Speaking of geniuses or moguls like Jay-Z, do you watch the NFL?
I do, yeah.
So how do you feel with the Jay-Z and
I mean
the NFL collab? She said,
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't really know too much to speak like crazy.
We don't. But like, what was your initial feeling of like seeing that merge?
I'll be honest, right? I respect Jay as a businessman. I think Jay is probably one of the, from a business perspective, probably one of the thought leaders of our generation. I think Jay, in my opinion, just from everything and like what I know, and again, like I said, I don't know too much, but I think Jay is trying to put himself in positions to kind of be that catalyst of change.
Okay.
So I kind of see what he's doing. I again want to see what he does.
Yeah.
But I feel like I understand why he did it. But I don't want to speak on it too much now because I don't really know.
You don't know, right?
So we'll see how it plans out. But I think it could be a good thing if he does the right, you know, the right thing with it. That's just my opinion.
How you feel?
I kind of felt negatively, but now that he just said that, like, and initially everybody looked and they were like, oh, like, why would he do that? Like, is that a good move? And so, but you make a good point. Like, if you can get yourself in the right position and you do the right thing, then you can be a catalyst for change.
Yeah.
So I agree now.
Yeah, we talked about it last week, and I'm off the NFL for a bit, but even before Kaepernick, I was off the NFL. Like, I knew about a lot of bullshit with the NFL, and that shit is a racist and corrupted league. I love football, though. Football is my first love.
Wow.
But can't get down with it. But like when I saw that Jay-Z thing, I didn't overreact. I was just trying to figure out, like, a lot of people's honestly, I saw the vice versa, like a different side of it. I saw people congratulating him.
Wow.
You know, like that a black man was in the seat at the table. I just said I felt how I felt about it was like, I don't know what's the real deal. Like, he's like in charge of the entertainment side. Like, I don't see how this could bring about change. But Jay-Z has not disappointed us yet as far as him on social issues and his stance on where things is. And he's like, as of recent, he's been very vocal about where he stands and shit with the 444 album, his verse with Meek Mill, latest song. And I just was like, okay, I gotta see where it goes. I can't just pass judgment like that. Not on Hov.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He's earned that.
He's earned that. Like, anybody else, it would have been like, nah.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? But Jay-Z's earned the right to see where he has and like not jump to conclusions necessarily. My opinion on it is like, I feel like what we shouldn't do is try to join that seat. Like, you know, we talked about Tyler Perry and shit like that. He was like, fuck them.
Yeah.
Right.
About to create something else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he created his own shit. You know, and I just feel like if Jay-Z purpose was to join that seat, I felt like that wasn't it.
Yeah.
Because he could have created, like, with a bunch of billionaires that he knows, or like whatever, not billionaires, but millionaires, like black millionaires, Diddy, LeBron, whatever.
Right.
Y'all could have created our own league on yourself if that's what you really wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I think we got to look at it big picture, though, right? Because it's with anything else. So if you want to learn, you got to go kind of to the source. You know what I mean? So, like, if he is going to do that, and I think you're right. Saying. I think you're right. If he combines his resources with other people in his same socioeconomical class, I think that they can probably create something great.
Yeah.
But I would rather see, and a lot of people are looking at it like, yo, he sold out. Again, like, you got to look at Jay's track record from a business perspective. You know what I'm saying? He had to learn all of the stuff he knows now to be able to run Tidal and Rock Nation and all that stuff.
No, that's very true, because he was the president of Def Jam.
Exactly. He had to learn that from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So this could be a strategic move on Jay's part. Like, yo, let me get in. Let me sit with these people.
And see what's up.
Let me learn as much as I can so that, you know, I can take that knowledge and go start my own shit. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think for me, that's why I'm saying I don't really want to speak on it, because I don't really know what his plan is, you know? But to your point, Jay hasn't disappointed us. He hasn't disappointed us. He's earned that right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think we should give him the benefit of the doubt. You know, like, look, let's see what you do. Right. Now, if 10 years go by, 12 years go by, and he ain't done nothing with it, then we'd be like, all right, Jay, what was you doing? But, you know, I think I gotta give him a shot.
Yo, I honestly, that's a great point.
That's a good point.
Never thought about that.
Neither.
Never thought about that. And that Jay has actually done that.
Yeah.
Like with Def Jam, him being there and shit like that, and then him starting like Rock Nation and shit like that.
Yep.
Wow, I never thought about that shit.
Yeah.
That's deep.
That was a ball.
You could rap.
Put that in a song. Put a beat on real quick.
What else has been going on? Do you guys listen to other like podcasts and stuff like that?
Yeah,
like, did you hear like the Nicki Minaj thing? Are you a Nicki Minaj fan?
I am, but I haven't listened to Queen Radio.
Are you a Barb?
No,
No,
not
you're not
Barb. I'm not that ride or die.
Barb.
I'm not that ride or die, but I do enjoy her music. Yeah.
No, but you haven't listened to Queen Radio?
I hear the little snippets and like the little blurbs
little
that
things,
they put on, like Shade Room and Baller Alert and
yeah.
stuff, and that kind of piques my interest, but I've never actually sat and listened to it.
Yeah,
I haven't listened to it.
You turned me on to that one. What's it called? The Blap Chat.
Oh,
Blap
Blap Chat. Yeah, Blap Chat is hard. It's like, I would say for music creators, it's geared towards music producers because it's run by Illmind. Shout out to Illmind.
Oh, shout out to Illmind. That's dope. I didn't know he had something.
Yeah, he got a podcast. It's pretty lit. It's him. It's Atlas the Plug, Glam, and Perfection. I couldn't think of Perfection's name for a minute, but they all do something musically. So like Illmind's a producer, Perfection's a producer, Glam is an artist, and Atlas is like he was a singer at one point in time, songwriter. And he does now. I think he's more in the management role and kind of does like the event promotion type thing, manages producers, artists. But they just get on there really every week. I think it's Fridays. They'll post a new one and they'll talk about just music production, like who has the hottest record right now, how that record came about, kind of different production tips from a business perspective,
That's
like
dope.
how to market your beats online, like the legal aspect of stuff, of sampling and all that type of stuff. They cover a whole vast majority of topics. So I listen to that one probably most religiously. I listen to y'all too. After I met y'all at Brooklyn Circus, I put a bunch of people on y'all. So I'm a subscriber for sure.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And then I'm trying to think, what else? There was another one I just recently started listening to.
I don't know why I thought you was a Joe Budden podcast.
I've listened to Joe like twice, and I just can't
can't do it.
Nah,
I
man.
love Joe Budden podcast too. Huh? Yeah,
Really?
Joe.
Yeah,
And I love music, like artists that start podcasts. I like their podcasts a lot, like because it's just conversation,
right?
And it's just about like music, or it's just about bullshit. But Joe Budden podcast, I really enjoy. I thought you. I don't know why I thought you was.
I gotta give it another shot because you know what? I listened to it a while ago. Like it's
like probably a long time.
Yeah, probably a long time ago. I haven't listened to it recently, but I listened to like maybe a couple episodes, and I was just like,
yeah.
But now I'll give it another shot.
I mean, it's 3 hours, but
usually. I mean, it's not. Some of them 3 hours.
Some of those 3 hours.
It's like 2 hours and 25 minutes most of the
Fuck,
time.
bro. I'm like,
they be long episodes, bro.
I be like, bruh.
They be super long.
They be super long, but like I like listening to podcasts. It's difficult for me to listen to something for a long time if it's not interesting. But if you like got me like a little like a ha laugh or some shit like that, or like make me feel something like we talk about with music, you know what I mean? Like, or like, yo, you know what? I kind of felt that way too, and it's lit.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I like. Have you ever like made like a production album, like an album just like with straight beat instrumentals?
I've got
like
one
shit like that.
I've got one done. I haven't put it out.
Why not?
I
do it.
Long story, man.
I did that
story.
shit
I need to. I really do. That's one of my goals. And I had said I was gonna try to do like a DJ Khaled type joint where I was gonna get artists like featured on
then
it.
Then I was coming up with something like that. And I was just like, it was too hard.
Yeah.
To get a lot of artists, especially even. And I was like, it's crazy because they're all from New York.
Right.
But it's hard to get like multiple artists just together. And it's just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think that's what kind of put it on hold for me. I got like a whole project that I was just like, yo, I got all these beats. And then my idea was because that Craig Derry's vocal class that she was talking about, so many talented people in that room, bro. Like singers, rappers, spoken word, you know, instrumentalists. So I was trying to get like a conglomerate of them to come together and be like, yo, let's just do this project. And there's a couple people that were, you know, on board, but then they had a whole bunch of other stuff going on with their own stuff, and schedules got conflicted, and we couldn't really get it done. So I don't know. I guess maybe early 2020, I might try to drop like an instrumental project or something. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, she's talked about who she will work with. Who will you work with?
Man, my dream is to work with Scott Storch. I think Scott Storch is to me one of the. He's had a run. He's produced.
100% had a run.
There's underrated for sure.
Oh my gosh, bro! Like the hits that are under this man's belt is ridiculous. Yeah. Scott Storch, I would love to get in the studio, probably with her. I would want to work with her from an instrumentalist perspective.
Sure.
And then, I mean, I don't know. There's so many people. I don't want to leave anybody out. I don't want to offend nobody.
Rappers?
No, I'm talking about like producers, other producers that I would actually like collaborate with. I'm trying to think, man. Jay White. I definitely want to work with Jay White.
Okay.
That dude is his story is amazing.
Yeah.
He has actually a Blap Chat episode you should listen to. His story is crazy, bro. But yeah, man, there's so many people that I just would love to get in the studio with.
You don't have any like artists you probably wouldn't get in the studio?
Oh, like artists? You mean artists or producers?
Oh, like well, to me, it's all in the same.
Oh, okay. All right. So artists, I would probably, if I was picking artists, I would say I definitely want to work with Chris. I want to work with Chris Brown or something.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm actually shocked you said that.
Really?
Why are you shocked he said that?
Wow, because I don't know why I don't think Chris Brown is as like popular as he is popular.
He is.
Chris
Like
Brown
he's the guy.
hits,
you know,
bro.
100. I don't I don't see him in that light, man. Like Barry sees him in the light. You know what I mean? Like I like
talented,
No
man.
Guidance.
Oh.
You know what I
No
mean?
Guidance is his bop.
Love that song.
But Chris, to me, the reason I want to work with Chris is because Chris, to me, is another one of those that has that genius level musical talent, bro.
Okay.
Like Chris,
Yeah, 100.
even if he's not writing his own song, like if somebody writes a record and gives it to Chris Brown, he gonna turn it into him. You know what I'm saying?
Or some
So
Drake
like, right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Drake is another one. I would love to work with Drake just because of his, work ethic and everything. And I'm trying to think.
We always bring up Drake in this fucking podcast.
Yeah.
I gotta stop this shit.
I mean,
He's
it's
relevant.
Drake.
Yeah.
It's Drake.
Nah, Drake is great, but
Drake's
like
a goat, man.
I feel
Drake
like
is a
people-
goat too, man, in his own right.
100,
For
100.
sure.
No, 100 for sure.
If they have like take away the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but if they had like a hip hop or like urban music Hall of Fame, bro, Drake would be in that shit for first probably.
Yeah.
Like, well,
Hands
I don't
down,
know
first
about
ballot.
but like a lot of anyway. But yeah, man, I don't know. Like there's probably nobody that I wouldn't work with as long as
The vibe.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, as long as the vibe is right. Because I mean, I've been in the studio with a bunch of people, and I may not have been producing the record, but you know what I'm saying? Like if the vibe isn't good, I could be like, I'm not really trying to work with them anymore. And I hate the sessions where there's like 30,000 people in the studio.
Yeah.
That drives me crazy.
Yeah,
man.
that's-
Anxiety.
Right, facts. My anxiety be on 12, man. Like, cause
So when you guys record, do you guys like? I know you work with other producers with her.
Yeah.
Right. Do you feel any type of way about that shit? Because I know you guys. Oh, she just put that face.
what do I feel any type of way?
Yeah.
Like as far as you working with other producers?
Don't play Devin.
Nah, I mean, okay. So it's, here's the thing, right? For me, there's a way to go about it, right? You know what I'm saying? So like, if you're a producer and you see on social media and because it's no secret that her and I work together, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are our primary, like, she's my primary artist that I work with, and I try to be her primary producer.
You are.
But, for me, it's like I would never go and try to pick off somebody else's artist. Like, if I know that person is working with them and on a consistent basis, I would reach out to the producer and be like, yo, bro, like, your artist is fire. I know y'all probably working on something right now. Like, is there anything I can, collaborate with? Let's get in the studio. Let's vibe out. I wouldn't reach out to the artist because to me, that could be like to the producer, like, yo, like, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is my artist. I'm developing them. I'm spending my time, my money or whatever on developing them. So this is like a little bit of it's like your boy stepping to your girl. You know what I'm saying? For me. So I just think there's a certain way to go about it. I wouldn't say that I get in my feelings about it, but I'm just like, all right, cool. Well, I mean, why they trying to, I don't think I get my feelings.
It could get sticky. I can see how it could get sticky because sometimes people don't know that. Like I work with my like they're like, oh, like I have these beats. Like, can I just send them to you? Blah blah blah. And he'll be like, and then I'll have them send them to our joint email. I'll be like, hey, just like take a listen. Like I had somebody send some beats over, and he'll be like, these are trash. Blah 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 blah. I'm like, all right. So then I'll like shoot back a nice reply and be like, oh, well, actually, right now, like I can't. And I'll be like, let me just go based off. But I there is a certain way it should be done. Like, and if they don't know initially, like once they figure it out, they should like kind of move differently or be like a little, just don't, not to step on anybody's toes.
Yeah, there's some lines.
Yeah,
There's
but
some lines.
that's us thinking though. Some people, the music industry, like we said before, is cutthroat. So they don't. Some people don't care. Like they're just like, no, you're gonna sing on my record, and that's what it is. Da 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 da. But
luckily for us though, like people we've been in the studio with though, vibes have just been crazy. Like we've been, and I think that's kind of like how, like we can tell, like before we'll even agree to a session and be like, yo, all right, cool, we'll come or hang out in the studio with you or whatever. Like if we can't vibe with you like outside the studio, 9 times out of 10 we're not gonna vibe with you inside. So
100.
We'll just say we'll pass, or like we appreciate the invite, but we'll.
And if it's the first encounter in the studio, we're both very quiet. So we'll sit and while everybody else is like conversing, we're like really quiet. So we'll just be sitting there like it's like assessing the situation.
Yo, we went in the studio. It's probably like a month ago. We were in Newark. And it was a house, and we didn't really we got the address, and we didn't really know like where we was going because there was an artist that she was working with at the time, and he was like, yo, pull up, I'm in Newark, I'm recording, need her to do a feature real quick. So we were like, all right, bet, we'll pull up. So she shoots us the address, we pull up to the house, we're like, all right. So we get out the car, we walking up to the house, and there's a dude outside that we have no idea who he is. He's like, yo, Janay, y'all in here. Me and Janay kind of look at each other like, yo, how he know who you are? So
it was weird.
It was mad weird. So like we walk in the house and it looks just like a regular house at first, right?
Yeah,
so we're standing down at the bottom of the stairs, and Janay's pushing me. She's like, yo, you go ahead. Like you go upstairs. And I'm like, they expecting you. Like, no, you go. Like they don't know I'm coming with you. Like, go ahead, you go first. She's like, nah, you go. Like, so we standing back there down in the bottom of this stairwell for like
whispering
2
and
minutes,
arguing,
right?
determining who's gonna go up first.
So the dude like pokes his head down like from the top of the stairs. He's like, yo, they down there having like a whole little powwow about who's gonna come upstairs first. But it's like situations like that where you just like, what is this? Like we pull up to some situations.
Well, I was thinking from the perspective of a female. Like, I'm not gonna go upstairs like first. Like, you should go. You should lead.
Right behind you. I was literally right behind you.
He's missing my point, but it's fine.
I see your point.
You see my point, right?
I see your point.
He was like, they're gonna recognize you. I'm like, I don't care.
But they do expect you. So like, if they see a guy walking in first, they're like,
yo, who's this
guy?
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? But if you came in first, then you can just like, this is my brother. This is a producer I work with closely.
Thank you. See, yes, it's I can see it from both ways. I see what you're saying, but it made more sense.
I was legitimately scared. Like,
yeah, I know. We could tell
because it was a house studio.
Yeah, and it was just like, I don't know. I felt like
Newark is a sketchy neighborhood.
Yeah, and we kind of pulled up and we were like, and then he was like, okay, go up. And I was like, no, like, you go up. And then the guy popped his head down. He was like, y'all trying to vote who's going to come up the stairs first? And we were like, no, like, hey.
Yeah, so they laughed about that for like the first 15 minutes. We got upstairs. They were like, yeah, they were down.
But was the vibes good?
Yeah. I mean, no, I don't know.
I mean, initially they were okay, but I don't know.
It's weird because you never really know like what people's true intentions are.
Yeah.
Like they will want you to be on these records, like, yo, sing on this record, like I'm about to put this out, like blah 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 blah. And then you'll start talking like, okay, cool. So what's when the split sheet coming? Like, you gonna send a split sheet? Yeah, about that. It's like, so it's like, okay. So that kind of messes the whole vibe up because then at that point you're like, all right, what are you doing with this?
Right.
Even besides that, like, sometimes people try to isolate me. So me and him will like we go everywhere together. So sometimes people will try to isolate me and be like, oh, well, I'll send a car for you, or like I'll come pick you up. And I'm like, I don't know you like that. Like I'd rather like I'm gonna have my brother drive me. And they'll be like, oh, did your brother have to come? And I'll be like, yeah,
like,
that's
sketchy.
That's sketchy.
That's
so,
sketchy.
Nasty business.
That's nasty business.
Yeah.
It'd be guys that say that shit, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, really? I'm like, oh, I can't work with you. Like,
See that? I feel like we had a conversation about that too up here. I don't know who we had up here, but I just like I find it so hard for a woman to be inside this music industry, something.
Yes.
Or any entertainment industry, period. Like, you know what I mean? Because you don't know who the fuck to trust.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's like, guys are filthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they'll try to take advantage, like label, like some label people might, like, try to start some shit. You know what I mean? Like try to get up on you and shit.
Yeah.
It's nasty. You know what I mean? Like I just wish like people are like will be like a little bit more professional on that front.
It's sad, but that's just the way the industry is.
Yeah.
And I've heard, I ain't gonna say no names, but I've heard stories where they're like, all right, bet you want to get on this show? Word. All right, cool. So we gonna meet at this hotel. We gonna get this room. You know, we gonna see what's popping and boom, 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 boom. And I was just like, what?
Wow, that's sick.
I was like, yo, for real? And they're like, yeah, bro. Like that's how. And some people like they want it
they
that
want it
bad.
bad, yeah.
Like they'll do whatever they have to do. And I'm
That's
just
toxic,
like, yo,
yeah,
that's
bro.
crazy,
That's
man.
so toxic.
It's crazy.
I can't imagine how many like women have to go through that.
Yeah.
Possibly every woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have to go through that in the music industry. And that's good that you guys are together and so close knit.
Facts.
That because that isolation shit, that's nasty.
It's weird. And it's kind of like off. Like one guy really came out and was like, oh, did your brother really have to come? Like, can't you just come by yourself? I was like, what's the problem? My brother comes with me. And then like he was like, he just stopped responding. I was like, okay. I was like, well, yep.
Yeah. And that's typically like a red flag for us, yo. If we like, like, nah, we don't want him to come or, come by yourself. We're like, all right, cool. Yep, nope, we're not going.
Right.
And we kind of leave him.
And sometimes it sucks because it feels like you almost missed out on an opportunity that could have been good if everybody
Could have been great if everybody
stay
could have been
professional.
just stay professional and
Yep.
stay chill and
Yep.
relax yourself.
Yep.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like even when we saw you guys at Brooklyn Circus, like, I know how that goes. So I didn't want to approach you first. I was like.
Strategic.
I was like, all right, let me go to the producer. Like, I was like, oh, you the producer? I remember, like, I came up to you and stuff like that, and then spoke to you. I spoke to the manager as well, and then I was like, yo. Then I came to you and I was like, yo, I love your performance and shit like
Yeah.
that. Kept it short and sweet, cause you gotta be professional, like that. And you never, like, a woman probably will never know your intentions necessarily. Like, my intentions could have been pure as hell,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't have known. You know what I mean?
Right.
Me approaching you first and shit like that. So I was like, nah, let me head over to the brother, have that conversation. Sometimes you just gotta do that.
Just respect.
Just respect things, you know what I mean?
Just respect.
Yeah,
fact.
exactly. Damn, we're running low on time. I feel like
all
you guys
good.
can talk to you guys forever, but you guys can shout your social medias, tell little people what you got coming and shit like that,
Word.
and things of that
Let
nature.
me go first.
Yeah, sure.
All right. So on Instagram, Janay Nicole Music. Janay spelled Janay and then Nicole. And we all know how to spell music, but but yeah,
Some people.
yeah, some people, most people, hopefully.
Yeah.
But right now, we're just actively working. Hopefully, just gonna hear some more music from me. Right now, I have those 2 singles circulating, so go give those a listen. Feeling a Wave and Money Mood. But hopefully,
Money
more
Mood, your
music.
favorite?
I do like Money Mood a lot.
Really?
It got my shoulders activated, so if I could dance to it, I'm in it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, for sure. He like the
So
show.
we got to go out to that one time. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
Appreciate it.
Facts.
Yeah, man. My socials, just on IG, The Real DeV.b. It's The Real Dev .b. Yeah, man. Like she said, we're just gonna continue working, keep producing, keep networking. Probably go out to LA in a month or so. Try to go out there and cook up some stuff. So yeah, probably within the next, I'd say probably before the year's out, we're gonna try to drop another single.
Oh wow.
Or a project. I'm not opposed to either.
Yeah,
Project or single.
yeah.
Or EP,
still
a
trying to
little
figure it out.
something,
Yeah.
a little
We're
something
trying
for
to
the
figure
people
it
to
out.
like.
Yeah.
We gonna figure
to
it out.
stream to.
Yeah, but yeah, man, we appreciate y'all having us though. For real.
We thank you guys for coming. EP, I don't know what song you was singing.
Which one?
I don't know,
On
but I had
Instagram?
I had commented and I said you had to put that on wax.
Was it something about chocolate? Was it chocolate?
I think so. But I was like, yo, that shit sounds so good. But I was like, yo, that's like a good feel shit. And like I said to you earlier, I was like, yo, you in that perfect time.
Facts.
Where that shit is just like I love R&B, but I like that nice sensual R&B, neo soul and shit like that, like India.Arie and Erykah Badu and shit like that. I love that. You know what I mean? Being that era where it's like, yo,
it's coming back.
full force.
Facts.
Money Mood ain't gonna give you that, y'all, but like it's still gonna make that show as activated.
It's still a bop.
It's still a bop. It's still a
I
bop.
fuck with it.
But go ahead, Barry, shout your shit.
Follow me on Instagram at jsaints_.
Follow me at JD the Opinionated on Instagram and on Twitter, artistic_JD. Follow us all, OTC at what am I talking about? Oh, OTC at OTC Podcast _ on Instagram and Twitter. Man, I thank you guys for coming. I know it's been a while.
Facts.
It was a long time coming. I know you was in LA for a bit, and you was running around. Y'all was running around and stuff like that. You be on vacation or something.
Yeah, I be everywhere.
She be everywhere because I'm like, what? Like she had a bikini thing going on. I'm like, what's going on?
It's cold here. Where you at?
Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, what's happening? But
she vacations while I work. That's what it is.
that's that retail shit though.
Yeah.
You still work retail.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get out that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you like a manager or something like that?
Oh no, I do not want that much responsibility. I like doing my little part-time gig where I come in. You can't hold me too accountable. I get a little allocation where I can get my like free stuff.
Yeah.
That's all I want.
That's all you want, and then that's it. You out of there.
Yep.
Yeah, I work. We both work retail, and it's one of the worst jobs ever.
So bad. People treat you like crap.
Oh, like shit.
Yep.
Customers and managers.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was a manager for a bit, so like when I hate it. I don't like it, so I'll never do it again. Possibly. If it's for a smaller thing, then I probably would. But whatever. Like just until like something blows up with this, you know what I mean? But like. It's by far one of the worst jobs to ever work in.
I
like,
can feel you.
Yeah.
I can feel you. I've done it too.
You done retail too?
I've done it too.
Yeah.
Guitar Center was retail.
Guitar Center is retail. Yeah.
Where else did I work?
But Guitar Center seems lit. I look at them and they look like they having a good time and shit.
It is fun. It is fun, but it like Christmas time and those sales, bro, like holidays. Whew,
Terrible.
It is. Yeah, it's rough.
People coming in acting rude and shit.
Acting rude, not really asking. The best line I always got, like the prices are right there, right?
Yeah.
So yo, how much is that?
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, the price is right there. No, I got it. But what's my price? Like.
Oh, they'll do that,
bro.
They think you could do some shit like that.
Like we're not,
price?
yeah. Like we're not haggling, bro. Like the price is the price. It's like a corporate set thing. Like I can't give you.
What is that?
Bro, I don't know why they I don't get it. And we used to ask a question. Like there was one dude, he didn't care, bro. He got fired at some point, but he did not care. He would ask him. He'd be like, "Yo, do you go to the grocery store and do you haggle about the price of milk, or do you just pick the milk up off the shelf and you pay for it?"
Oh yeah, you definitely.
And then he was like, "You got a point." He's like, "Yeah, so don't come in here doing that." I was like, "Oh,
yeah, you'll
Spit
never get fired
facts,
for that
though,
shit."
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, when you spit facts, you'll get fired.
Yeah.
right, exactly,
Yeah,
100%.
No,
That's what retail does. That brings a side out of you.
It
Right.
does.
Like, come on. I'm not even this person. Like,
Yes.
like you really getting me tight right
Yes.
now. Like,
She said I'm not this person, but you getting me tight. Nah, yeah, that'd be me. I'm rude I'm notoriously rude, honestly. The customers though, like you know what I mean. Like, it's just when you ask dumb questions, it's just like, I don't want to say questions are dumb, but like, come on,
Right.
Like,
Some
don't
of
do
them
that.
are, yeah.
Like, don't do. I used to work at a hat store, and it was like, do you think I could wear hats? Fuck you asking me if you think I can wear a hat. Fucking put a hat on. Put the
you
fucking
want it,
hat on.
get it.
Do you want the fucking hat or not? Fuck is you asking me a question for?
Oh my god.
Anyway, that's OTC podcast. We're gonna get out to this money mood, right?
facts.
That's what we about to do.
That's cool. That's cool with y'all.
That's
Yeah.
cool with me.
You sure?
More
Appreciate
than cool.
it.
Yeah. Get your shoulders moving.
I'm about to.
All right, you about to? This is OTC podcast. Thank you guys for joining us once again.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
guys.
Money mood. Janay Nicole.
Big flipper, big money, big dipper, figure, keep counting them figures, get richer, don't love these niggas. Big flipper, big money, big dipper, figure, keep counting them figures, get richer, don't love these niggas. Every morning that I wake up, determined I'ma get it up. Turn my money stack into a cake. Put that shit in the oven, let it bake. I don't know what is inside. I got you all hypnotized.